way to connect in the sports world during these unprecedented times, or you wanted to showcase your talent? Then sign up for a free account at www.watchmylights.com. My Lights is a social media sports platform that provides all users with a free way to communicate and share sports highlight videos with anyone around the world. So whether you're a coach and want to easily recruit for your players, an athlete and want to showcase yourself, a parent, grandparent, or sports enthusiast, My Lights has you covered. Users can create a free account to share highlight videos, chat, post, and follow other users. My Lights is the new free social media sports platform the sports world has been waiting for. So go to www.watchmylights.com and get started now.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Off the Dribble, presented and powered by the Warner Robins All-Stars in association with Off the Dribble Hype South Media Network. What's up, people? Happy Sunday. Charles, I see you going right into it with the Rams, huh?
Hey, gotta rock my boys, man. They 6-1. Just beat up on the Detroit Lions in golf. Had to show them what it is.
Oh, they played today?
Yeah, they had a 4:00 game.
So that was kind of like a was that not a rival game, but because they switched quarterbacks.
Yeah, not really a rival game. It was just kind of one of those games. Hey, hey, golf, I'm gonna show you what I can do with the talent you had type game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I would say this, man. Detroit's coach, I kind of like him, man. I like his passion.
Yeah, energetic guy. I think he does what he do. So, but I'm gonna go with my guy Sean McVay every time.
What's up, Miss Deborah?
What's up, Miss Deborah? How you doing?
Them boys had a what's called today, ain't it? Brother Adams is in the chat.
Brother Adams in the chat. Oh,
what's up, Brother Adams? We appreciate you locking in. The Cowboys, they didn't play today, did they?
I think they had an off game. I think they had all. Yeah, they had a night off.
So, So I mean, let's talk about that division, man. What do you think about that division?
I think the Cowboys. What up, Poop? I think the Cowboys going to win that division.
Well,
I think when the time comes, you know what I'm saying? I think that's what everybody is waiting to see.
Juke, what up, Juke?
Juke, my guy, the most energetic coach out there.
Yes, sir. All day, every day. We got whether it's a camp or a real game, we going hard.
Hey, he gets it in.
Yeah.
But no, so I don't lost my train of thought.
We was talking about the what was that? The NFC.
Oh, the NFC East. Yeah. So I think everybody.
East, isn't that what they call it?
Yeah, NFC East. So I think with the Cowboys, man, people were waiting for the big game to see if they're gonna choke or they're gonna overcome.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yes, Georgia basketball starts Monday. Can't wait.
Good luck, Brother Adams, and all the other young men and young women that's trying out for their high school teams.
Yes, sir. The one and only that one.
Hey, so Charles, let's bring somebody in and can probably talk about the NFC East a little bit. Our main man, Washington ball team #1 fan, Dude Love.
Actually, he the ball team #1 hater. Atlanta fan.
Oh, he's a hater because he's the Atlanta Falcons fan. Dude Love, what's up, brother?
What's up, my brother? You know NFC South. See the Braves going to the World Series, don't you?
The Braves going to the World Series. Yeah. Congrats.
Hey, that's my fault, man. I forgot you 100. You ride for the Georgia Atlanta teams, man. I forgot.
You know it, man. Dude Love had to make an appearance today. But Falcons went down to Miami and showed out, boy.
Wanted it at the last
3 seconds. Field goal. Game winning field goal, man.
Game winning field goal.
Hey, that's what's up, man.
We're gonna pick up some momentum and some steam.
I think they got like a whole 2-3, 3-3.
Yeah. I mean, it's just one game at a time.
There you go. Building blocks.
Man.
Yeah, but you know what I don't understand with
Coach Hickson, what's up?
Oh, the comments are coming in, bro.
Miss Deborah, it's good. You ain't lying, Miss Deborah. Listen, man. Man, listen.
Hold on, Tat, before you get going, man. So Tat put a meme up with the dude from BMF talking about, I can't stand losing no more.
Lamar. Yeah, I see how crazy Lamar. Listen, man, I'm so sick of this, man. I'm sick of it, man. I'm sick of it, man. We can't win with losing.
There's an answer to Washington, the ball team. There's an answer to that solution. It's called Cam Newton.
Bro, listen. This fool could have walked in for a touchdown and the fool fell down.
Torres said put it back on.
So like Lamont Sample. Now we played like Lamont Sample today. Man, I'm so sick of these jokers, man. It's just mistake after mistake, man.
You still got a long season to go, man.
Man, Kyle, you right, man. hey, Kyle, I'm gonna tell you something, though, Kyle.
There you go, Kyle. Come over to the Knicks. Come over to the Knicks.
Hey,
I ain't going over no Knicks.
Wait, asked a question. He said that the AD paints. Did AD paints?
Man, I'm gonna tell you this. I like that because after that happened, oh yeah, we did put up 70. So I was happy about that tour. Now after that little altercation, they still lost the game. That's all right, which is fine. But they find the attitude. So now the attitude got to match. The attitude's got to match the defensive intensity now.
Yeah. So speaking of intensity,
hold on, real quick. So was that the same game that LeBron was then chirping Cameron Payne?
Yeah, my boy. Yeah, that was him. He told him to be humble. Yeah.
There's a lot going on out there, man.
I'm telling you, you right. They did start to click.
They did. They did. Hey, listen. And if they had got that game within 10. That game probably would have turned out different. After that altercation, after that happened, they started having an attitude. They started playing with attitude, playing on defense, and they gonna. I'm telling you now, watch.
So Ted, let's talk about your expectation of the first practice, which you put out there. If the jokers ain't about to hit,
no, if that type of intensity ain't in there where they about to hit, it's gonna be a long year, boy. I tell you that
from day one, huh?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, stay humble.
Yeah, that's what he told him. Stay humble. It's a long season.
Now I kind of look. We ain't gonna dive deep into it, but I kind of missed where the stay humble come from. So I'm kind of confused. What happened? Does anybody know what happened?
No, I don't know what was said, but
I don't know what was said. He must have posted something, but it sounded like
it was during the game.
No, they were during the game. He was talking trash during the game.
Yeah, on the bench.
Oh.
Well, you know,
a year and a half ago, you wasn't even here.
Right,
stay humble.
Hey, but I'm gonna tell you this, Cameron Perkins. I mean, not Cam. I'm talking about Cameron Perkins. Cam Perkins on mine already.
What up?
Hey,
yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem right there.
No.
That's a problem.
It ain't a problem, KP.
He can't.
They ain't relying on him to shoot. They relying on him to score. They relying on him to score.
Well, tell him that they ain't relying on him to shoot because he keeps shooting a lot of jumpers.
That man still I'm gonna have a triple double. That man he gonna be fine, man.
So if it's the least person I'm worried about in that group is Russell Westbrook. That kid is a dog. A straight.
I ain't gonna say that he ain't gonna find his way, but I'm saying shooting jumpers right now ain't his way.
Yeah. Ain't none of them hitting no jumpers. So it ain't just him.
But think about what he's dealing with, KP.
Melo hitting jumpers.
No. But KP, think about what Russell Westbrook is dealing with.
Who?
Russell Westbrook.
Just say last name.
Yeah, the Westbrook got me messed up. My bad. Westbrook. So he dealing with LeBron, who's drawing so much. Hold on.
Okay, I'm gonna let you.
He dealing with LeBron that's drawing so much attention. He's being left wide open. That man ain't used to that. Man, so he gotta learn. He gotta find his way and learn how to play with that group. So right now they building chemistry. It's a chemistry thing.
That's all. They ain't getting it done defensively. That's the main thing.
One thing I can tell you about Westbrook, if you're talking defense, he ain't the problem.
Nah, he gonna be all right.
I did say Wussel. I did say Wussel.
Yeah, he's shooting Wussel than anybody. Yeah, he's shooting.
I said that was wrong. Give it to my man. Kick it off to my man Melo.
No, think about it. Ain't none of them knocking down shots consistently like that.
I got you. Yeah, they ain't really built for that. They ain't coming out steaming. I got you. They're mature veterans enough to they know what they need to do.
If they take that attitude that they played with in the last minute of that fourth quarter, well, I say that whole fourth quarter, if they start out playing, defensively like that with an attitude of the chip on the shoulder, it's gonna be hard to beat them.
But they don't have to consistently maintain that too, and I don't think they. I don't think that's their goal to maintain that. I think they want to coast through the regular season to get into the playoffs.
Everybody. That's why they got
to win 73 games.
KP, you got some hungry dogs out there that want rings.
Yeah,
that ain't it.
I'm telling you. So I think they want to maintain. If they can maintain top three, a 3 seed.
Let me tell you. How many rings Melo got?
None.
He hungry. How many rings Westbrook got? Wussel.
I'm telling you, I don't think that's their goal. But you know what? Let's do this. We got somebody backstage that can probably fill us in and give us their thoughts. We'd like to introduce to the show Dr. Kris Watkins from the Southern Hoops Report.
Hey, good evening, everybody.
Doc, we're gonna jump you right into this. What you think about what the Lakers got going on right now?
I don't know how good they're going to be this year, but Russell Westbrook is my favorite player ever. Like, now I know in terms of what he's going to do with the offense and how he can't really, stretch the defense of what he's doing in terms of he takes all the ill-advised shots. He's the guy you don't want taking the shot when you got Kevin Durant on your team when he was in Oklahoma City, But he plays harder than everybody.
He does.
He can be 0 for 40. He doesn't care. I mean, and there's so many when you look at like when he was with the Thunder and just how particular he was and, with his family and like used to get all his mail delivered, to the facility. And I love it. Like everything about him. I'm sitting here, I was just laughing in the background. And like you think about his story, kind of one of the under-recruited people, kind of got on late there at UCLA, and even when they drafted him. I mean, when he got drafted, what was he, 5th, 7th pick? I mean, but even then, it's like they weren't bringing him in to be a 2-time MVP,
right?
1-time MVP, and he is by far just how he plays. I absolutely love him. Now, I don't know if he's good for the Lakers this year. Generally what you need around LeBron with the spacing and the shooting and, is AD going to have to play more of the 5, which he never really wanted to do. So it's going to be really interesting to see long term. But in terms of playoffs, I don't know if I'd be one to bet against LeBron. You got year 22, year 21, still top 5 player in the league.
So let me ask you this. What's
up,
Dr. Love?
Dr. Love.
What's up?
So we got what do you think about Melo?
My thoughts exactly. It's always a for me with him.
Why?
I love him though.
I think it's really interesting how so many other teams that they've either got the young guys that can carry them, but it's like the damn Lakers have got everybody, all these old guys. Generally like you'd surround LeBron with more of the younger guys, and they had this when they got Westbrook, when they could have traded for Buddy Hield. And that would have made more sense to me. I think somebody that can carry some of the offensive load, which is what they're going to say, Westbrook can do throughout the season. so LeBron can get a little bit of a break. But
so another point, and I'm sure you heard this backstage, but what do you think the Lakers' goal is for the regular season?
Finishing top 4.
Right. I think that's what their goal is as well.
Yeah, but what's interesting, they talk about all the time about LeBron finally taking some time off, and he came out the other day and says, like, playing 30 minutes a game compared to 36, 38, that's actually harder on his body because he's got to sub out more and stuff like that. So he's one of those that's never really going to take a night off. So whereas other people, they will, the Suns will sit Chris Paul games. The Spurs used to do it forever with all their big three. Kawhi, who knows when he's going to play, even when he's in the rotation, he's not hurt. That's one thing LeBron seems like he's never going to do. So
yeah. So one more question about these Lakers. Do you think they had to kind of bring in an older crew around him mentally deal with LeBron? Because LeBron can be very ball dominant. I'm gonna dribble out this thing and I'm gonna pass it. We've seen him as defensive rotations, all of these things, and kind of get on those younger players because of what his reputation is. So you think they had to bring in some older players that's more mentally tougher?
Yeah, and I think it's one of these where when LeBron's looking, just his style of play, he wants people around him that he's comfortable with. Mm-hmm. And, that's even when he brought in Dwayne Wade to the Cavs that one year and then they got rid of him. Right. He surrounds himself, at least it seems, with all those veterans. That's why J.R. Smith was always, he brought him in when they traded him and they were worried about him. And LeBron was like, I can take care of him.
Right.
So he kind of surrounds himself with those pieces.
I think it's hey, this is the devil I know type deal. You know what I'm saying? I can deal with this versus something new and that's gonna mix it up. I think Buddy Hield is a better pickup than a Russell Westbrook. I think if you take LeBron out, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think if you take LeBron out, if LeBron sit out a game, you'll see a different Russell Westbrook. And he'll carry that. That's what I think. I think LeBron is always going to be LeBron. I think LeBron always is going to need shooters. Shooters will love a LeBron. They'll love him because all I got to do is set up and shoot. Oh, that's perfect. But you get somebody who like a Russell. A Russell is the same thing. You got to remember this guy led triple doubles. Whether right, wrong, or indifferent, and people say, "Oh, he padded his numbers." Blase, blase, blase. That man led triple doubles at the end of the day. He can do everything as far as assists wise. He can do what LeBron can do. That's what I think.
Hey, Charles, we do not want to turn you into this conversation that we were having with Polo G, but I see it going there. So we go.
Hey, man, y'all stay off my man Polo G, man.
Smell like Ben Gay.
Right, he's about them old jokers.
Hey, but what I'm saying, even to your point about the shooters, right? So they had KCP there. KCP was supposed to be a pretty good shooter.
He was inconsistent.
Right, but he was supposed to be. That was the hope for bringing him in.
Hey, what you're supposed to be and what you are is two different things.
So Caldwell Pope get a pass. And
I didn't say you get a pass.
Ain't no pass for me.
I'm going back to my point is playing with LeBron could be difficult for certain people.
All they gotta do is score.
Let me tell you something. If they could have pulled off a Bradley Beal, Lakers hand down, they win in that draw. They won all.
Man, Lakers gonna be just fine. Watch what I tell you.
I think so. I think
it's gonna be fine.
I think so too.
Once they get it done on the defensive end, ain't nobody else gonna be talking about Westbrook can't shoot. He can't do this. He's good.
No, I mean they'll talk about it when it's in a game 6 and he gets it. And so I won't be mad if he shoots it. But I mean everybody else will be like, Westbrook's got to go, the ball's got to be in LeBron's hands. But that's not what Westbrook's been known for, to be playing off the ball late in the game.
And you know that.
Yeah,
and you still brought him in. You know who he is. He is who he is.
I think that is to take some workload off LeBron so he can rest. I think that's why you bring in a Russell Westbrook with that team. It ain't gonna look great. But when he needs to look great, he'll look great. That's what I think.
He almost had a triple double the other night.
I know, but people still. I'm just saying.
All right, man. I almost had a triple double the other night too.
Yeah, you did.
I'm a Westbrook guy too, so I love the energy.
Well, we see, Charles.
Yeah, I'm just
hey, but this ain't about us, man. Dr. Watkins, we appreciate you joining the show.
Yes, sir.
Long time coming. I'm gonna throw it to you. Kind of give us your background, how you got involved in everything that you're doing basketball wise, and we were talking before the show. It's kind of in your bloodline, the coaching aspect of it. So I'll turn it over to you and let you kind of go with it.
Yeah, for sure, man. Mention I always kind of shout out my father on here, Tony Watkins, who's back on the sidelines this year at McIntosh County Academy. One of the winningest coaches in Georgia high school basketball history. Hopefully he can get up to 700 this year if they have a good season. But kind of just, again, been around it forever. Grew up and, going to camps at Woodward Academy with all the Southside old heads, whether it was Matt Cain at, Jonesboro, Mark Andrews at Stockbridge. So all those real old school Atlanta basketball guys I kind of was raised by every summer at the Woodward Academy basketball camp. And, that used to be like the camp. You'd have, 3-4 weekends, 250 kids at it. And every high school coach in Metro Atlanta used to go work it. So kind of being around those guys, kind of really got to learn the game. Got into coaching early. I've had 5 knee surgeries. So blew out my knee in high school, blew it out again in college, and started coaching early there at Piedmont. Was fortunate enough my senior year, or right after I graduated, I was going to take a year off, kind of a gap year, and just rehab my knee. My brother got a job at a small private school called Oak Mountain Academy, a GISA school. So he was like, hey, man, you want to come be my assistant? And I was like, me at 18, I think he's probably 23, 24. And, we were living the life in Carrollton, Georgia, and coaching, and went and transferred to go play at Piedmont, hurt my knee again. So then kind of started doing a bunch of our stuff there through scouting and film exchange. I was fortunate enough to then work with my father, or actually spend a year working with Corey Baldwin at Truett McConnell, his first year as a head coach when they were a junior college. Got out, left there. I have 2 special needs adult siblings younger than me. So it's one of these where, if I continue to coach college and 10 years from now, I'm in a position, something happens, I got to take care of my little brother or little sister. I had decided to make a choice. If I'm going to eventually be a high school coach, or I'm going to try to stay college, I didn't want to essentially be, 10 years behind the 8 ball. So got out, started coaching high school for a year, North Gwinnett. Then I was Daniel Bowles' assistant at South Cobb for 1 year. And then I got the head coaching job at South Cobb at the age of 24. And I was head coach there for 2 years, and then actually got out to get in high school administration. So that's kind of, and then throughout all that time, I was involved with Sean Williams when he was starting on the Radar Hoops. And then, with Corey Black, we started doing all the junior college stuff, the SHReport. And then ironically, Southern Hoops Report is what SHReport was originally called. We were just covering junior college and prep school. And then, so now I kind of do both with the high school, with the Southern Hoops Report that's really taken off here. I think it's kind of 6th or 7th year. We've been, doing that as well as what we do on the junior college side, which is going on for me, I think year 10. Yeah. So that's kind of, it's a year round business, kind of always done it. Didn't really know what I would do otherwise. It was kind of one of these, I always knew growing up, hey, I'm gonna be a high school history teacher and a basketball coach. And I really kind of enjoy the event space and the evaluating, because I feel like I can help a lot more kids that way, as opposed to me just coaching one team. And I think if I ever went back to coaching, I'd probably have a stroke, just the way I coached. So,
yeah. So there's the passion there. So let me ask you, from your early on time of getting in there, from the coaching seat and evaluating and doing all of those things, because even when you're coaching, you're still evaluating, right?
Yeah.
Because you're scouting teams and doing all of those things, to where you're at now, and the program that you have and all of that. What has been the biggest change, I guess, in with the kids that have been coming through?
I think in terms of like players, kids are so much more skilled than they used to be. Mm-hmm. And I think what is very interesting is what everybody says. I try to always kind of put a positive spin on everything, whenever people are like, hey, kids these days, I'm sure then they're going to say the same thing about their kids. But they're so skilled. But I feel like what the difference is most, if I went out and had a good game versus Lewis Williams, and whether it was high school or AAU, I then didn't go like, oh man, I'm definitely a Division I guy, because I had 15 versus Lou Will. Like that never would like cross my mind.
Right.
Whereas now there really is kind of just that. There's no like almost humbleness into understanding like, yeah, that's great. You had 20, versus the EYBL team, you're still a Division III kid.
Right.
And that has become more of a thing that I think it definitely was when I first started. And I think it's because kids don't see those other levels. They don't look at, your D2s and AIs, understand that those kids there were probably all first team, all region. They were all state. You got Division III kids, they go Division III because they like the academic environment. They like the smaller school, but they probably had, Division II opportunities or even sometimes low major opportunities. And I feel like that's the thing they don't, kids don't really understand. That's why we always encourage them to come to one of the junior college jamborees we run. So they see, oh, those 5 kids have signed high major and they weigh 30 more pounds than you and they're your same position and they're 3 years older. Right. And I feel like that kind of really makes them understand the difference in kind of the level of the game.
Yeah. With that, let me ask you as far as direct, do you give a lot of direct feedback?
Yeah, kids? I do. Yeah, if they reach out, and I'll have parents reach out, and so much what I kind of feel if I have a platform, then I'm going to try to use it. If a kid sends me, hey, coach, can you put this out? Sure. I mean, y'all know I'm really, really big on video. Right. And video with no effects, video with no edits. Hey, kid hit, had 20 points. Here's the 8 clips. I have certain kids that I have a real good relationship with. I'll keep all the negative ones too and send them to them as well. In terms, I will be transparent. Like if a parent emails me and says, hey, can I contact these D1s? And I'll be like, no, here's the schools you should be reaching out to. Right. Sometimes they are receptive to that. Sometimes they're not.
Oh yeah. No, believe me, we definitely get it. So being in it, I think, and I think I can speak for the guys, being in it from this side of it, right? It's kind of the media side, if you want to say, and covering things and just having conversations and try to share and push out information. Everybody's not receptive to what you're trying to tell them. It seems like some people think it's always an agenda, and to be fair, I'm sure with some folks or some organizations or whatever, it may be an agenda, but when you're trying to keep it a G, as they say, with everybody, they don't really want to hear that if you're not saying what they want you to say.
No, yeah, I agree. And I think there's a big kind of niche where people, not, your evaluators, I don't think, have agenda, but like they always go watch the same kids. And I'm real big on, I might not get out as others because I spend so much time watching film. Or now, we'll kind of talk about the database, but I feel like I don't need to see a kid. I need to see a kid every couple months. Because if I'm seeing you 3 times in the same month, if I saw you in the preseason or a camp, that's good. Then I'd like to see you maybe over Christmas and then maybe in the spring. That way I can see the growth and development of the game. As opposed to if I'm seeing them every single day, and because we do so much, especially our on the radar tournaments, we have 50 games on film that I go through. I end up almost sometimes in my mind be like, oh, the kid's not as good because I just almost tear them apart on film. And me and Sean, we'll be texting them like, hey, what do you think? I'm like, well, here's what I saw, based on the other 4 games that we filmed. And so that's what I really try to do in terms of kind of setting myself apart and kind of how I break that down. And that's why we try to do, again, so much of the footage stuff.
Yeah.
I got a question for you, Kris. Georgia becoming a force in the post-grad basketball. So what are your thoughts on post-grad schools?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, you've had some that have been around for a while, whether it's the Skill Factory and, Middle Georgia Prep has done a fantastic job. You got new ones popping up like Team Dickerson, is going to be really successful this year, I think. I think Damon's going to do a fantastic job with organizing everything they got there. I've seen, they've already been playing some good competition. I think the biggest thing with post-grad, and it's going to be very interesting with the kids that were in the class of 2021 and 2022, is what opportunities are going to be there this spring. I I do think everybody that kind of does it does a fantastic job in promoting their kids. I do think for a lot of kids, you know, it's almost a detriment for the kids in 2022 class that they're going against all those kids in the 2021 class that went post grad. And to the benefit of the kids in 2021, it's similar to like a kid that goes junior college. They've now had another year to physically mature. You know, we all know, you know, when you go back after a year in college, even if you weren't the best player in high school, that kid can come back after a year in college and they can most times dominate the gym just because they're a year physically stronger. They're a year of playing, you know, another competition. And that's why I think it's really good for that post grad. And especially what's so unique about those schools in Atlanta, because Atlanta is always a stopping ground. You know, a lot of those teams play, and, you know, mine and Corey Black's jamborees, you know, so they get a chance to play, you know, front of 7,500 4-year coaches, almost like an open period in July or April. But those people are so used to coming and recruiting in Norcross and a Wheeler and things like that when they're already in the city. They're going to go, okay, I'm going to go stop by. And, you know, here I'm going to, you know, watch Team Dickerson. I'm going to stop by, you know, over at NYO, and I'm going to watch the Skill Factory. I'm going to make sure I go down to Barnesville and watch Middle Georgia Prep. So that's why I think it's so unique about those schools here in Metro Atlanta.
That's good stuff. So I know you got a new thing coming up with your database. So can you speak to that for a little bit, Kris?
Yeah. And so what my goal has kind of always been, you know, a long time ago, you know, I did the whole paid recruiting service, and I had a, you know, bunch of subscribers when I was covering junior college, and, you know, sprinkled in some high school stuff there as well. But what I don't ever want to be is kind of a gatekeeper. I'd rather be a connector. Without, you know, we discussed like without an agenda. So if what we'll kind of do with the database, the players input their information, it goes in a completely sortable online database for college coaches. It's NCAA certified for Division I schools. Kind of rolled it out last year behind the scenes. Had about 400 players in there last year. Had over 50 colleges that were using it last year. You know, that number I think will definitely grow this year. A lot of it, you know, not just the Division I's, but those non-Division I's that were hit with COVID in terms of their recruiting budgets. So any, you know, access, you know, the kind of idea is, you know, if I send out a tweet on a kid, you know, like on Damani from Archer, that a college coach can then just log in, okay, here's his info, you know, here's his high school coach's info, here's his cell phone number, and just kind of be that connector. And that's kind of what the main goal of that is. And, you know, the idea is more kids get in there, you know, I'm going to continually promote them again throughout the season. I want there not to have to be that, you know, stopping point from a kid having a coach being able to reach out to him.
Oh, that's good stuff.
I think Cam just did his.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
He did, I think 2 days ago. Yeah, I got a tweet set to go on him tomorrow. So,
Okay.
Does it give like a link to videos or any of that good stuff?
Yeah, it's got everything in there.
Okay.
It's got their GPA, their test scores that they input in there. They get spots up to 3 or 4 videos they can put in there. And then as they send me updates, I'll go update it. So let's say, you know, Cam Perkins has like new highlights or, you know, new full game film. He can just fill out the update form, and then I go in the database, I update it. The coaches see, hey, you know, Cam's got new footage, you know, so then they go look at it. So pretty much anything that any information you will want on a player is in there.
Good. Sounds exciting.
Yeah, very exciting, man. So hopefully kids are listening, or parents and take advantage of this opportunity so your kid can get recruited.
Yeah. Kris, how do they find that?
They can just go to southernhoopsreport.com. It's right there in the header, and y'all know I'm pretty obnoxious on Twitter, so it probably gets tweeted out about 20 times a day. You know, shout out to Hootsuite and TweetDeck, so I can settle that stuff up when I'm teaching during the day, so it just goes off by itself. But yeah, that's the biggest thing. Just go to southernhoopsreport.com. And there's another link on there that once they have kind of the player info in there, they can just send any updates. You know, again, if they have new ACT score, new SAT score, Yeah, Damani had a fantastic year. Coach Chukas for sure, right? I think he's definitely a kid that college coaches obviously are all over. Just his size and his length, and over there at Archer, they're going to be one of the best teams in the state this year, I think, especially defensively.
Oh yeah, definitely. So, Kris, I'm gonna ask you a question, man. This is probably a very simple question for you, but it's something that we try to foot on this platform. For kids to be successful, right? On and off the court, what are the basic things that they need to be successful?
Obviously off the court, it's academically and socially. We all push academics as much as possible. When I was a head high school coach, I didn't let my kids take PE. They had to take another academic, whether it was art, whether it was a computer science, something like that. And it's really hard. It's gotten to the point now to be kind of successful, to get to the next level. You have to. It's a full-time job almost from ninth grade. Especially academically, when everything really counts. To kind of really understand, what do you want to do to be successful in life? I know, kind of talking earlier, I don't sleep enough and it's not very healthy. But in terms of what I want to do to be successful in my life for both, my wife and my two daughters, it means I do have to sleep less, whether it's staying up, breaking down film, promoting stuff. For kids to be successful, to kind of get to the next level again, when you take out the academic piece, they've got to just continue to get better and understand that it's become so buddy in the world with kids, where that kid's trying to take your money, and in terms of scholarship money. And if a coach is deciding, they all, everybody says they want a dog or something like that of that nature. I would have wanted the kid when I was recruiting, the kid that would almost, I know this sounds bad, but would rip the other player's throat out. I mean, that's how tough you have to be. And that's almost how you have to approach everything, athletically and academically. That is, understand what's more important, who you hanging out with, or the people you surrounding yourself with, or those people that are helping you, or those people that are bringing you down. And those are tough conversations and tough, things as a teenager to really figure out, that the guy you're hanging out with may not be in your best interest in terms of getting, to the next level in life.
Yeah. Kris, one other question, and again, this is one of those questions that should be a no-brainer, but I would love just to hear you put it in your own words, how important exposure is.
Yeah, I mean, and I know there's a lot of people now that are like, you don't need to go to camps, you don't need to do those things, and I understand from a financial standpoint, it's difficult for parents. But the more a kid can be seen, that's what they need to do. Mm-hmm. Because I know, like at our campus especially, I try to have as many different media outlets there as possible. Because one, y'all see me at camp, I'm running around the whole entire time. Right. And that's why we film everything. So then I go back, at least, my camps, and as well as the On the Radar camps, we film every single game. So I can go back and have an honest evaluation on every single kid that comes to camp. Mm. And from an exposure standpoint, I just feel, especially now for kids in the 2022 class, it's going to be tough. And they need to market themselves on social media. Their high school coaches, they need to market them. It's okay to say, hey, I had 12 points, 5 assists. And I know people are against, hey, you shouldn't promote your kids if it's a loss. It's all about winning. That's great. And that's good and grand. But like, those kids should have the opportunity for college coaches to see them. Right. So from an exposure standpoint, as long as they're going to the camps that do have college coaches there and do have media there, I think it is worth their while. Because what will happen a lot of times, college coaches will see the kid at 2 camps and then offer after the second one. Or they'll see a kid in July, at on the radar event or a rise or a hoop scene event, and then see them at a camp in September and go, hey, I'm gonna pull the trigger. And that's why I feel like if parents do have the monetary, the ability to pay, and I know me, like all event operators, we all work with people with discounts and multiplayer discounts and things like that. And I just, kids need to be seen as much as possible.
Yeah.
And be seen by the right people.
There you go.
Right, I was gonna say foot stomp the right people.
So I got another question for you. So, Kris, I want to know your thoughts on NIBC and grind session basketball leagues. They have about 10 national ranked teams in those leagues. For high school basketball.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with NIBC in terms of grind session. I am. Again, that's similar to. I am it sounds bad. Like I'm more of a purist in terms of just normal high school basketball. Now, granted, I know that sounds bad because in Georgia, normal high school basketball is not normal high school basketball. But in terms of grind session, those teams are extremely competitive. They're extremely talented, and I think anything, again, that opportunity and to be seen by more eyes than you would be seen, because what's so different now. And I think it's going to be really unique too here, especially during the season, again, because of COVID. I don't know how many college coaches are going to be on the road at these tournaments in like November and December. Yeah, I remember back in the day, the Deep South Classic at Brookwood, when I was growing up, you'd have 30 or 40 college coaches there. Mm-hmm. And because they would come home over Christmas to Atlanta and they bounce around the tournaments. I don't know how much you're going to see of that this year, just because I'm thinking colleges don't want their coach to go get something and then come back sick, and then they miss games during the season.
Right.
So that's what I think. It's kind of back to that. Just again, be seen as much as possible. I know it sounds repetitive and redundant, but I just feel like that's what parents need to understand. Their kids need to be seen as much as possible.
Yeah. Kris, what's your thoughts on the shot clock?
This is gonna make me sound, like a hater. I mean, I think it's cool. I do not think it's going to play the significant role that people think it's going to.
Right.
At the GHSA team camp, I did not think it played a significant role almost ever. I know there's this idea of, NBA 2-for-1s, which are obviously one of the worst shots in basketball.
Right.
Analytically, it is 100% what you're supposed to do. So, what it is going to help, I do think it's going to help a lot of your better teams keep from getting upset. And I think because what's going to happen, I know nobody likes stall ball or things of that nature. But if I'm an underdog and I'm up 10 with 4 minutes left in the game, like, you have to come guard me. And I know people don't like that. But that then prevents in a shot clock. Now, what is going to be interesting, I think if I was still coaching, now granted I pressed, I would continue to press, because if you press with a shot clock, it really doesn't take you out of your early offense. If you take 6 or 7 seconds out of the shot clock, then they can't run their secondary transition. That's what I think is going to be unique about the shot clock in terms of how people change, how they play.
Right.
But in terms of, initially, because when you coach in college and you watch the professional level, especially if you got 35 seconds in high school, I don't feel like it changes the game a whole lot, because people already play more up tempo.
Right.
That's how kids want to play anyways. It is going to come in late in games, in close games, but I don't feel like it's going to have the overall huge impact that everybody thinks it is. I do think it's cool if they have it. I just don't think it's going to alter how a lot of teams already play.
Do you think it'll help kids transition into the college level?
I don't think so. I like it because that's sad all day. 5.3.
Ball no more.
I mean, from the idea of our kids going to be more prepared to play because they've had a shot clock in high school. I mean, right. Yeah, probably, but that's not something that's a huge transition. Right. Once you get there, I think if we continue to make the high school basketball as much like college, then what becomes of high school basketball?
Yeah.
You know, so, and I'm a purist, you know, whose dad's been a head coach for over 40 years. I believe in taking charges, even though most people don't like that, you know.
Ooh.
You know, so I do think it's going to be cool. I am glad that Georgia got it. I think the people on the committee did a fantastic job of getting it approved because there's nothing easy to get through GHSA. And I think they did a fantastic job in terms of marketing it, you know, where they were using it to Hawks Naismith, started using a number of different, you know, travel tournaments, how they used the GHSA team camp 2 summers ago. So I, you know, definitely commend the coaches for doing it and getting it in. I'll be interested to see this high school season, what it really looks like.
Well, Kawasa, he used it at the Invitational last year.
Yeah, last year.
Well.
And he'll be using it again this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think it had much impact on the game.
I think we had about, I guess, 4 or 5 shot clock violations, but the main thing kept the game. It kept the game going. Keeps the game going on time.
I wish they had shot clock when I was playing because that would just give me more reason to let it go. Coach, I thought the clock was about to run down.
Get your tail subbed out quick.
And Chris, let me ask you this: you said you were kind of a purist, man. Let me ask you about the like the overtime league.
Was it overtime elite? Whatever.
Overtime elite, and you know, with guys being able to go to the G League and out of high school. And we kind of talked about prep schools already, but what are kind of your thoughts on those?
You know what's interesting? I think there's this. I'm a purist in terms of like high school basketball, but I'm also, I think, you know, people only have so many years in their life in which they can profit off their name, image, and likeness and/or money. Mm-hmm. And so for those kids to, you know, even if overtime and you're signing what is $100,000 per year, I think they can sign, or they can put that off and potentially then use that to pay for college. I think that opportunity is very unique. I know if I could have made $100,000 at age 18, I don't think my parents would have had any qualms about it. Or age 17, if I'm going as a junior. I think like what Scoot Henderson did in terms of going to the G League early, I think is fantastic. You know, speaking about Russell Westbrook, he reminds me, you know, of Russell Westbrook. It's going to just be interesting to see where it goes. Obviously, it is working. I think every team, NBA team, but one was at the overtime workout this weekend. Watching all those players. So they might as well make money off themselves than colleges make money off of them. That's kind of, you know, how I feel.
So what you saying that you were in favor of the of them being able to get paid based off their name and likeness?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
You know, and it's weird. It is where I'm a purist in terms of like I just love high school basketball. I don't think there's anything different, you know, than hell being at South Cobb versus McEacher, and then swag surfing comes on, and there's, you know, 4,000 people in the stands. Shout out to Coach Moultrie. You know, that's I remember I was there when that came on. I was like, oh man, it's gonna be a good night. But yeah, I'm 100% for the name, image, and likeness. I'm 100% for kids getting the opportunity. I just hope that when they do so, that there is some type of plan. You know, what do you do if you sign in overtime and you don't go to the NBA, you know, and then you're done playing in 5 years? Is that money still there? You know, because when I was head coach of South Cobb, we had a bunch of guys that played overseas that used to come work out, and you know, they would talk about, you know, yes, on this big contract, but the money's gone. So I just hope those people, and I'm sure overtime is, you know, they're surrounding them with financial people that are making sure that they're going to be set up, kind of moving forward, following them. So
if I'm remembering this correctly, so if they go to overtime, they can't go to college, right?
I think there's something to where I don't think they can play in college.
Not play, well, eligibility, right.
Yeah, eligibility, I do not believe they can, but there are some where they can take the opportunity to like put money aside and then still go to school. And there is an education piece while they're at overtime too. So that way they are kind of getting still, it's not like they're, you know, just dropping out of school. They are still kind of getting that education piece.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So John B, the problem is not kids they play for 2-3 teams.
Yeah, that too. But now I tell you this, Sean and does a good job of putting you.
There's no ducking when you come on the radar.
No, ain't no ducking at all.
Boy, he gonna put you in that fire.
Yeah, over there, you gonna play that straight smoke over there. I'm a firm believer in that.
Yeah, and just kind of shout out to Sean and Willie and Dante and everybody on the radar and kind of what we do there. And I think that's what's really unique about just what we do or on the radar events is that you can get the opportunity to play a shoe team in front of 75 college coaches. Yep. You can play Team Thad, you can play CP3, and I as opposed to being when you're at a venue that has 60 courts, it's really hard for, nobody's ever going to come over to court 59. And that's kind of, everybody goes to main court. I know ours will look and I'll be like, well, Sean, hold on, which court is that on? Like, oh, it's 3. Oh, we just had the 2 EYBL teams on court 1. He's like, yeah, whatever. So, I mean, and that's that way you get seen by as many college coaches as possible and kind of have those opportunities, especially being an independent team.
Yeah. So let me ask, as far as the camps go, like when COVID hit and everything had to kind of slow down a little bit, and you had to kind of number or limit the number of kids you could have in the gym. How do you think that fared? Because I know I had been to camps where it was a lot of kids, and then kind of went to camps when the COVID situation was going on, and you had to limit it, so you had less kids in the gym. But were you still able to? To me, it was a little bit more intimate.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, in terms of what I did, I didn't run a camp for a whole entire year. Just because my wife was pregnant at the time. It was a high-risk pregnancy. Our daughter Naomi only has 1 kidney. She's good. She's fine. I want everybody to watch this and be concerned. But I remember that night I was supposed to have my camp that Sunday when COVID first started. And, like I said, I don't sleep very much. So in February of that year, I'd started getting food and stuff just because I didn't want to pay, $14 a pound for chicken. So then I canceled camp that Wednesday, and I just started refunding everybody's money. I didn't even think to have a camp again until next year. Right. And then I know with On the Radar, we waited, I think 5 or 6 months, and the numbers were lower in the summer. Mm-hmm. But yeah, in terms of kind of being intimate, I like it. My camps, I do them a very specific way, in terms of what we do with the skills stuff, the type of people I have coaching at the camps generally are current high school coaches or, like Adrian Pinland does a fantastic job. He helps all the skills. Robert Alfonso has been heavily involved here since he's been back in Georgia the last couple of years. But yeah, in terms of the intimate experience, I'd like to keep camps around 100 kids, 80 to 100. I think, when they get too big, I feel like they get unorganized. And then you can't really see everybody. And honestly, just what I do film-wise and filming and watching, you can see just the kind of, when it gets too big, it is kind of hard for kids to almost be noticed when it gets too big.
Right. Yeah. Hey, just before we get to that comment, just put this way, Kris, just in case you need it. My camp record is 2-3. So man. Just in case. My camp record is 2-3. I just want to throw that out there, just in case something comes up. I'm available most times.
Man, what that question? What was that question again?
Oh man. Everyone can't play on ESPN court, LOL, but people get mad when they ain't on the main court.
I tell you what Sean told me. When where you at?
There you go.
When where you at? And everything else will take care of itself.
There it is. Shout out to Coach Corey Black.
Yeah.
On the check-in.
Yes, sir. D-Free.
Yeah, Dr. Love, you're right. I ain't had a chance to go in there yet. I ain't had a chance to go in there yet. But yeah, man, yeah. I mean, he's right, man. There's a lot of people get mad because they ain't on the main floor.
Right.
I mean, everybody can't be on the main floor.
Yeah, and what's real unique, I mean, I think especially this past year, all the 17U teams were all there right at the main spot.
Mm-hmm.
And people might be like, well, nobody's coming to watch my 15Us. I mean, honestly, because schools aren't recruiting 15Us.
Mm-hmm.
And that they just weren't. People were recruiting 17 and 16Us this year. I mean, go ahead,
Chris. All right, I didn't mean to cut you off. Say that last part. Say that last part one more time.
Which one? About they're not recruiting 15Us yet, or they're recruiting?
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, and if they are, because what's unique so much, because there's times where I'll be at a gym, or I'll send somebody over, and there's a high major kid in that gym, and nobody's there watching them, because they're more focused on, especially now with the transfer portal, and a lot of them, these college coaches, they got bringing kids are going to win. And now, honestly, yeah, your 5-star recruits and your Dukes, and they know who all those kids are, and everybody knows who those kids are, but like they're trying to get the kid now, the senior and the junior. They might offer a kid, but if they get one opportunity to be on the road, they've got to see the kid. Honestly, they need to see the kid. The kid needs to see them there watching their game. I mean, that's so much what stands out.
To kind of feel that love, so to speak.
Yeah, for sure. And you see some staffs do fantastic jobs that really stand out, or you'll see when the head coach is there, they make sure they sit by themselves over in the corner. That way they stand out of the crowd. You have a lot of college coaches that do a really good job in terms of marketing themselves with how they dress, or wear a hat that's got a cool logo. I mean, something to stand out. It's like if kids that want to feel love, like I said, more than ever. And if I'm here and I've been offered by these schools and by 5 schools and 3 of them are there watching, the other 2 aren't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about that. Well, obviously these 3 coaches came to see me. Obviously those others may not be as into me. Now, granted, the other college coaches, might have seen the kid already that day. Right. But it's just there. You will see the staffs that will sit there and sit on a kid, and oftentimes are not, especially in your your low and mid majors. They will get that kid. They'll get a kid that's quote unquote steal, because those coaches will sit on them all summer.
Yeah. Hey, so we talked to Coach Hickson, and I think he's watching. And shout out to Coach Hickson, but he always talks about right fit, right? Academically, for playing, being comfortable at that school. But then that just, you just mentioned the transfer portal. So that just made me kind of bring up what is your thoughts on the transfer portal as far as the way it's designed right now and how kids kind of go into that?
Well, what's so unique with all that, it's I think stuff that has always been a thing, it's now because of social media, it becomes a bigger thing.
Mm-hmm.
Kids have always transferred. People have always signed transfers.
I guess at this clip, though,
it's gone up more, but I think, again, because now, you'll have kids, it'll come on social media, like, hey, thanks so-and-so staff, I'm going in the transfer portal. And, you'll go look them up, and they're like, bro, you average half a point a game in a Division III. I'm not, where it's like,
taking my talent somewhere else.
Yeah, it's like, but are some of them going to transfer portal because then the coaches are like, yeah, we're not going to bring you back.
Right.
And so then they put the same thing, I feel blessed, I'm going to the transfer portal. And there are so many kids that have made the wrong decision. And I know, hey, you need to tough it out. It may be a bad coaching situation, right? Maybe not in terms of, hey, the coach isn't playing them, so they feel, hurt about it. It just may not. It may be a coach that's old school, and they don't react well to that. The coaches that MF the kids all the time, and the kid just may not react well to that. It may, hurt them mentally, so they may look to transfer. I think it's not going to change. And that's where it kind of goes back. We talk about the exposure for kids in the 2022 class, 2023. I mean, you talk to college coaches that were, at the whether it was, at our jamborees in the fall, it's like, what are you looking at this year senior wise? They're like, nobody.
Wow.
What are you looking at for juniors? They're like, possibly one. And
Hmm.
they say, like, we're trying to be in the transfer portal or we're signing JUCO kids because you're getting a known commodity then.
Yeah.
Even if I know, if I'm on a low major and I can get a kid that averages 7 points a game at a mid or high major, I can see what they've done against that competition. I sign a high school kid that's skinny and, 6'4" and shooter. Yeah, that's great. Or I can get this other kid, that's added 30 pounds of muscle. And so I think that's the biggest thing.
How do you market yourself in the transfer portal?
I mean, so much of that stuff's done via social media. I mean, the kids go in there. Honestly, the media people are not supposed to have access to any of that stuff because it's supposed to be college coaches. And that's really why the numbers got out. But it's the kid just goes in the portal, and then once they get the release, they're kind of free to go.
So at that time, they're kind of putting their own film out there, maybe contacting colleges, all that good stuff.
Yeah. So the biggest thing is once they go in the portal and they've got the release, then they're kind of free game. That's where, these schools, a lot of schools have like a member on their staff now. They're just kind of monitoring transfer portal.
Wow.
And that's why you'll see a lot of, if I'm a low major or a mid major, I try to go after these 4 and 5 star kids I probably don't have a chance of getting in case they decide to transfer.
Yeah. Charles, can you bring up Charlie Wagner's comment?
No, you ain't got no more questions before I bring this up?
I mean, I might.
I like to give him a hard time.
So hold on, real quick, one more.
So the question is, how do you deal with delusional trans that wants Johnny to play D1, but he's D3 NAIA? What's that talk like? Well,
when you're looking to go to, certain situations, if you're going to Division III, depending on how you are financially, going Division III sometimes can be a little bit of a burden, unless you can get packaged well, which some schools do. Generally, when the economy is doing good, they don't package as well because they don't need to, because their enrollment's up. For parents, I think it becomes what's more important. Is it, or you want your kid to go Division I because that's a you thing, because you want to be able to post about it on Facebook, my kid signed Division I. I always tell kids 20 years from now, nobody's going to care. Unless like you're playing at Duke, North Carolina, if you're at, I remember when Bubba Parham transferred to Georgia Tech from VMI, played for my buddy Daniel Bowles. And, people were like, well, he could go here and shoot more. He can go here. I'm like, dude, he's literally going to Georgia Tech. Like, he's going to get a degree from Georgia Tech. He is going to play at Duke. He's going to, and this is a kid, I think he had like 36 at Kentucky when he was at VMI. And it's, unless you're in a situation like that, you want to go to a place where, one, you're coming out of school with hopefully no financial debt and student loans. So if you can't get packaged really well at Division III, or if like you go to a Georgia school and you get Hope, and if you have Pell and they give you some money and everything's covered, I think it's hard for parents because it goes back to what we were talking about earlier on in the broadcast, that they see their kid have a good game against a kid that's a top 30 recruit and they automatically go, oh, well, that means my kid's this good.
Right.
Well, he's going to Georgia, so my kid can definitely go to Mercer. No, he can't. Oh, well, if I can't go Division I, I can start at Division II. No, you can't. You can't play at Clayton State. You can't play at North Georgia. You can't play at Young Harris because all they're signing is Division I transfers and JUCO kids. And so that's where I think it's hard to have that conversation. I think it takes a, honesty. I mean, again, I was different. If I would have been like, hey, I'm Division I, my dad would have gone like, yeah, that's funny. And I think it's hard for people to see that, again, because of just how much people play now, right. And parents are investing. I mean, they're, if you have in your mind that you want your kid to be Division I, you're like, damn, I've paid $25 or $20 a day to go watch my son play Friday, Saturday, Sunday for the last 5 years, 20 weekends out of the year. Like, you put in a financial investment. And so you want there to be the return. But I think parents need to understand what is the best long term? Is it cool for your kid to go to an NAI where it's a good situation? I think they don't understand that your best NAIs will beat a lot of your Division Ones. Your best Division Twos will beat a lot of Division Ones. I mean, you'll see it every year once the season starts. They do these closed scrimmages, and then the Division Three will beat. When I think Syracuse lost a Division Three or Division Two a while back.
Hey, whoa, Kris, whoa.
Talk about it, Kris.
Let's use another example. Let's not use Syracuse.
So I think just parents have got to be realistic with themselves.
Yeah.
What's most important? Again, are they doing it for themselves? So they want the kid to go Division One? Because if you're going to a bad Division One, if you're going to a bad Division One where it doesn't have good facilities and it's not a coach in terms of that is going to be there long term, chances are you're probably going to be transferring anyways.
Yeah. So Charles, can you bring up Juke's message?
I have coaches that ask me, can a kid take that kind of coaching before they start recruiting them?
Yeah. So what Juke's talking about is when I was talking about, kind of the old school coaches. Honestly, that's kind of the way I used to coach. So I think what kids don't understand many times when they're getting recruited, it's kind of like when you're young and you're dating, especially now in the cell phone generation. But it's like, when you're cell phone generation, you send a text to somebody, it's like, hey, what's going on? What's going on, girl? Go next phone. Hey, what's going on? Hey, what are you doing tonight? What are you doing tonight? When college coaches are recruiting kids, and I know they do a fantastic job building a relationship, but they're also having that same conversation with 10 other players at your same position in the same class. And they're buddy until you get on campus.
Yeah.
And college coaches, there's a ton that have a really good relationship, but what's different when it's a college coach than your high school coach? As a high school coach in Georgia, as long as you're at a public school, 90% of your salary comes from being a high school teacher. When you're a college coach, 100% of your salary is coming, especially Division I level, from being a college basketball coach. So that's their livelihood.
Right.
You can get fired from basketball. You still have your teaching position as a high school coach. So you can still feed your family and stuff like that. I mean, college coaches, that is their livelihood. They have to sign the right kids, again, both socially, academically, and athletically. And, they want to get you on campus if you're going to help them win games. And I think that's what kids have really got to understand during this kind of whole recruitment process.
Kris, can you expound on that just a little bit more, just in the sense of based on the conversations you have with college coaches, right? What these young kids out here don't realize once they get on campus. Once I'm recruited, I put my tweet up, I had my signing, now I'm there. The game changes a little bit for them, and I don't think people really understand that aspect of it. So if you could just preach on that a little bit.
I don't want to. Syracuse, a place where boy been coached since he was 9.
Right.
And
hey man, we're gonna get out of it.
Was it the 2002 national championship or 2003?
It was 3.
3 when Hakeem Ward blocked that shot.
Yeah. Against Kansas.
I thought he won another one since then.
Nah.
I thought McNamara won one.
Nah,
they won from Big East championship.
Yeah, that's the game where they won like 5 straight games in the Big East, and McNamara hit the shot.
He went crazy. Yeah.
Oh, Boeheim won more than one.
Nah.
40 years, one championship.
Let's get out of that though.
You're right. So, my bad.
But when I was talking earlier about what you got to do to kind of get ready for the next level in terms of being like a full-time job, that's what it becomes when you're a college athlete. And especially, it's mandatory workouts, it's mandatory study hall, it's mandatory going to the training room. I mean, when you see the college coaches put up their schedule, I mean, and then you have to build your whole class schedule around practice. I think when I was talking to Huff the other day at Voorhees, I think he said they practice like in the mornings, like 6. And when it's a full-time job. So it's, again, let's say you wake up at 8, you got 2 or 3 classes, you got to lift weights, you go to practice, coaches all over you, your girlfriend's mad at you. Yeah, it doesn't matter. You got to go to study hall. You might have a night class, and the coaches are on you all the time. And that's where I think it is different, because some of it, that's why you see a lot of kids get burned out. You'll see a lot of times, it's just like, imagine being yourself your freshman year in college. It's hard. It's hard being away from home. It's hard being away from your parents, your family, your brothers, your sisters, having that routine. And when you're in college, your mom can't wash your clothes for you.
Right.
And you got to kind of handle all that stuff yourself, as well as play basketball, as well as go to class. It's different than high school. You don't have that same, in terms of, even though you have the routine, you might not have that Monday through Friday routine like you do in high school.
Yeah.
So then you got to be responsible. You're going to stay up late. And then what if you got a road game? And then you get back, you got to be up in class the next day. So that's where I think just kids understand when they go in, it's a business once they're there.
What can we do to better prepare our kids? Or is there such a thing?
I think it's kids just to learn self-awareness and self-responsibility.
Right.
And how do you learn that? To me, I'm a high school teacher. And I know people always say to me, well, in the real world, kids don't get second chances. So they should get a 0 for turning stuff in late. I'm like, well, that's stupid. Because if I don't pay my electric bill today, they're not going to cut it off. But I think it's teach kids compassion, but then learn self-awareness, that they understand when they're in that situation. So whether it's when, your kid, when they're driving, make sure that they understand, like, here's what the expectations are. Here's what the consequences can be. And so they just learn that self-awareness. I learned that in school. I'll tell mine all the time, even if I take something, I say, you understand a college professor will not take anything late.
Right.
And so they just have where you can have those small conversations where then you kind of show them compassion and empathy, but also kind of teach them the lesson, as opposed to hitting them automatically with a negative consequence, where then they don't even hear you when they're talking. Because I feel like today's generation of kids is so different. When we were playing, when I was playing, if my dad cussed us out or yelled at us, we'd be like, okay, we'll show you. And then we would go out and do it. Now, I feel like if you go off on them too hard, they kind of baby about it, and they don't then get the lesson. So you got to find a different way, as opposed to continually saying kids aren't the same. Like, well, then we probably need to adapt what we're doing to ensure that they're getting the same message that we want them to hear. Oh yeah.
Now, I was talking to a lady. Her husband is a professor at Fort Valley down here, and he straight told some of the students, y'all might as well go ahead and disenroll now before these final grades come out, like that halfway point, because y'all ain't cutting it. So to your point, that's a real thing. Yeah,
me too.
No, I agree completely, and it's weird because my wife's the opposite of me. She is the most rigid teacher ever, but she has some of the highest AP scores in the country. So I guess it works out. But again, I think just, again, it's about relationship building with the kids, and how do we make our children, our student athletes, to them kind of understand. It's like the little thing, right? Like, kids understand, like, they've got to clean up the bench after the game. Why? Because, like, that's what you're supposed to do. Not, hey, you didn't clean it up, I'm going to make you run. Like, no, they just understand. They see the coach picking up the trash. So they go, okay, I'm going to go pick up the trash. And so just those little things of just self-responsibility and self-accountability, I think it's good for kids to learn early.
No,
they see us picking up trash and they know they got a 17.
What's that say? Hey, don't worry about picking up
don't
the
worry about it. We'll get it. Yeah, y'all don't worry about it. We'll get it.
What? I don't know. He never wrote a paper in college.
Yeah.
Well, Dr. Love.
Well, you're on your own on that one.
You can't do that anymore, man. They run everything through the plagiarism checker.
Yeah.
That paper don't be able to be used once. It's not like back in the day.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know when Dr. Love graduated. He might be a back in the day type guy.
Dr. Love. With the name Dr. Love, I'm gonna say he old school.
He old school.
Got to be old school.
Got to be old school.
Just heard say that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Tell them that
The
in a
water
minute.
bottle. Yeah.
Don't worry about it. We'll get them. They know what comes after that.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, I'm gonna switch the subject up a little bit, man. Kind of back to the NBA. So the 75 list just came out. What you think about it?
How did Dwight Howard not get on it?
Hey, they were talking about Dwight Howard and AD. Like AD probably shouldn't have been there over Dwight Howard.
Yeah, let me pull.
That was a conversation. That was a conversation.
Man, I ain't even looked at that list.
I haven't looked at it in depth.
Grant Hill didn't make it.
Who? Grant Hill.
I don't think he should have made it.
Penny didn't make it.
The body, the
that's
body
gotta
of
be
work
injury.
ain't the work. Yeah, the body of work's not there.
Look,
The
Grant
talent's
Hill.
there. The body of work's not there.
Okay, yeah.
My opinion.
Yeah, I can go with that.
So you saying
I can go
because
with
of the injuries?
that. Yeah, I can go with
That
that.
would be my take on it.
Okay, then let me ask you a question. Was Steve
I'm going
Francis
through it right
on there?
now.
Huh?
No.
Who?
Was Steve Francis?
No.
He didn't have a good body at work.
He ain't on the list.
Yeah.
I think
he's solid.
you got Klay Thompson's not on there, and
T-Mac.
yeah, and that's what's weird in terms of how they did the voting. But from what I understand, I've listened to a couple podcasts since they came out. I mean, obviously, you look at you say certain players, oh, so and so could never play in today's NBA game. You know, somebody that was like maybe on the 25 list when they first came out after 25 years in the NBA. I think a lot of them looked at it was in terms of like their impact on their era in which they were playing. And so that's why I think you see a lot of those guys that were on there from back in the day.
I would say I'm not a Trace. I mean, I'm a Tracy McGrady fan. I just don't think the body of work is there. Vince Carter, however.
Oh yeah, Vince Carter didn't make it either.
Golly, that was a rough list.
Yeah.
So I think Clay should have made it.
Yeah. Trying to look up Tracy McGrady's stats.
Yeah.
He had that crazy, what is this? Let's see, one,
Was
two,
that when he was in
three,
Houston?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, he had a crazy 8-year run. We started with the Magic and then went to the Rockets.
Yeah.
Where he's averaging 27, 26, 32 points a game, 28, 26, 25, 24, 20, So you look at so many of these other players.
So let me ask you specifically about AD.
I think it's one of those, is he going to end up being top 25 player of all time, maybe when it's all said and done? Top 50 for sure. I think Dwight Howard has just gotten such a bad rap that's not warranted, and I think that kind of impacted it. Whether they said they didn't like that he was immature, and but I think people forget. I mean, he was drafted in the NBA as like an 18-year-old, and so it's like
that man got T.O.
Was is Dominique on there?
Nick is, yeah, even though he was not on the 50.
He wasn't on the 50, but he made the 75 though. Okay. Yeah.
I would say the biggest stubs would be, I would agree with Dwight Howard. For me, it's Vince Carter. I think his body of work is there. Tracy McGrady had good runs. If you compare body of work, and Penny, I think Penny and Grant Hill could have been there had they been in the league longer. I put the talent is definitely there.
What about Kyrie?
I put him in the same situation to Dwight, man. He's just too much chatter behind Kyrie.
But are you going by off the court or on the court?
Well, I'm just saying the reasons. I'm just saying the reason why he's not there.
Right.
But so here's the thing: like you look at Kyrie, and I was just comparing him to Tracy McGrady. So Kyrie at this point has played 582 games. T-Mac had played like almost 1,000. So Kyrie's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 10 years in the league. So yeah, I guess that's not as warranted. But I mean, just the overall terms of number of games, has he played enough games at this point in his career to jump him over some of those other guys, right? So it's like, who do you take off to put him on?
People are questioning Dame.
Well, Dame is on there, ain't he? Yeah, because they questioned Dame over Clay.
They're questioning Dame. They're questioning who was the other one? Harden. I don't know.
I'd put Dame on over Kyrie.
Yeah, I think some of that's projection, right? So I think
Yeah.
some of it's that too.
But is that based on why would you go Dame over Kyrie?
When you think, and I know this sounds bad because then Kyrie hit one of the biggest shots in NBA history, when he caught them there, the switch. And I feel like what Dame does as a leader and just like what his impact has been in terms of who Dame has had on his team compared to who, Kyrie's had on his team. I feel like Dame has made a bigger impact.
Yep.
I know all the NBA players love Kyrie though. Just what he can do with the ball and his ball skill and things like that. I just think I would want Dame Lillard on my team over than Kyrie. It has nothing to do with any of the other Kyrie stuff. I don't care about any of that other stuff. But like,
right,
I don't
just
know
basketball stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it's on there.
I think a case can be made for Horror.
For who?
Robert Horror.
Nah, bro. Nah.
Why?
I think, and I don't know in terms of maybe being on the 75. I think being in the NBA Hall of Fame.
I'll give you that. Top 75.
What do you got? Seven championships?
Mm-hmm.
I think he wasn't just on the bench on them championships either.
Right. He hit them shots in LA.
So let's back up. How many individual awards does Robert Horry hold?
It's a team game.
No, but if we look at top 75, what individual award does Robert Horry hold?
What? Okay,
0.
Okay, you're right.
What AD got?
Didn't AD get Rookie of the Year?
I mean, Kyrie Irving got Rookie of the Year.
Wait, hold up.
I got Rookie of the Year.
Man,
no, but I'm saying though, man, you got to come on, man. Don't do that. Y'all know that. Robert Horry.
All right, okay.
This shouldn't even be a discussion.
So Scottie Pippen's my man, but what did he do?
Man,
wasn't he first team? Hold on. Wasn't he? How many times was he first team All NBA?
First team All Defense too.
Dang.
Yeah, multiple times.
Oh, I got mad and logged off. Boy, I do it out, boy. You can't. Not bad. You can't say nothing. You cannot disagree with Charles because that dude would log off on him.
I'm just playing, man. I'm just playing. Hey, here you go. Here you go, Chadwick, right here. Robert Horry career stats. Robert Horry career stats. Bro, I can't believe y'all said Robert Horry. Man, y'all need to stop, man.
I mean, one night got all them big shot ball. So he didn't hit big shots?
He hit big shots.
It's impact, ain't it?
So, okay, let me ask you a question. What individual awards did Damian Lillard won?
Then Lillard got some awards, man.
Like what?
I can look it up, but he won some awards, bro.
Like what?
Like MVP?
Like this, probably the skill challenge in the All-Star game?
That horse challenge. He won that, I think.
But y'all can't. Are we really? Thank you, Chadwick. Thank you.
Yeah, well, we know Scottie Pippen got multiple.
That's what KP has.
I just use him as an example.
No, you said Robert Horry. Then you say, well, he did nothing individually. Dame Lillard ain't did anything individually, and Kyrie Irving have.
Jude, you can't go with Charles on this. He just got mad and logged off.
I was joking with y'all. Anyway, I'm just saying though, bro. Like Robert Horry don't even deserve to be in this discussion.
I'm just saying
he got 7 championships.
Man, look, I would put Tom Brady in a basketball conversation about top 75 before I put Robert Horry in there.
Man, you serious?
Yeah, I'm dead serious. Next person.
Oh man,
was Rodman on the list?
Rodman made it.
You better.
What?
All right. So
thank you, Chadwick.
Yeah, Damian Lillard has been All NBA based on what this says 6 times. Kyrie's been All NBA 3 times. Damian Lillard has been All NBA first team once. Kyrie has never been All NBA.
There you go. All right.
As long as the internet is right, which it may not be. So
what about Clay?
If his mama call him Clay.
If mama call him Clay, I'm gonna call him Clay.
I think. Sorry.
You think he get overshadowed? You think he get overshadowed by Steph?
I think it's just because he's been hurt. So he's been like, was he at not played 2.5 years? He's been out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, when you look at that whole Warriors team in terms of just in that run, even before, you know, KD, in terms of how many Hall of Famers are going to be on that team. You know, you figure Clay will be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, Iguodala will be in the Hall of Fame. I think, just because I think what's happened, the way just the Hall of Fame has just gotten so almost watered down.
Right.
You know, that's trying to pull up that whole entire roster.
You don't think Draymond Green gonna be Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I was waiting for someone else to bring that up because that's been I used to get in arguments in a big group text about that. I think Draymond, in terms of his impact defensively and just what he's able to do and so much of what he does offensively, the way him and Curry play together. Now, when you say like Draymond being in the Hall of Fame, people don't want to hear that. But you're going to look at, the number of All-NBA teams he's been on and just number of championships they have, where he's different than maybe Robert Horry in terms of he's just not being a spot-up shooter, where the way Horry was kind of later in his career when, you know, a lot of went through the Warriors offensively. A lot of that, you know, was kind of Draymond Green stirring the whole pot to make so much of that happen. And I'm glad he seems to be kind of more engaged. I read an article they did on The Ringer the other day where they interviewed him in terms of how he was kind of checked out last year.
You know, somebody else mentioned a good name that probably should have made it. Was I reading? I think it was Alonzo Mourning. That was a questionable one.
Man, Alonzo
that one I could go with.
That Joe got dunked nobody here about in the league.
He probably did.
Hey, when you're a shot blocker, that's what happens.
Some chances you take. Huh?
Man, now look at this joker, man. Green Bay Packers, man. Green Bay Packers. Man, everybody's telling me cheat.
Go back to that 50s and 60s.
I don't know, man. Like
50s and 60s.
I ain't gonna. Yeah, they saying some of the people some of the players from the 50s, 60s shouldn't have been on this.
So they was on it from the 50, I think.
Yeah,
they carried all them players. They carried all them players over.
Well, you have to look at what impact they had in that era. So because they didn't play as many games, they probably didn't have as many awards either. So it's. I mean, you got to pay homage. That's kind of high. So you have to
who was on there?
I don't know. Yeah, I had to look at it.
So like,
I'm not that good.
Yeah, I can't remember the name. Bob Pettit, I think, something like that.
Some of that stuff I have to research, bro, because I don't know all of them like that. But
so Charles, so you think it's a popularity thing? I mean, of course that goes into it, but you kind of. So if it's a tilt, you think they're gonna go with the popularity?
Well, if it was a popularity thing, then Kyrie would have been on there. So I don't think it's that. I think it's really body of work. I think you have to honestly look at the body of work that a player has done.
I think Kyrie would have been on there. Look, I think Kyrie would have been on there if there wasn't all this stuff going on in the media right now. I do. I honestly do.
I'm a Grant Hill fan. I think Grant Hill would have been that next best thing. He would have been. He'd have been in that conversation with a Kobe, with a Dwayne Wade, as far as when it comes to the two. But the body of work and injuries just wasn't there. That's how I feel.
Is Udonis Haslem on there?
For what?
Udonis Haslem. Y'all start laughing when I say Udonis Haslem.
We talking about top 75 Heat players?
Yeah.
So y'all mean tell me he wasn't glued to those Heat teams?
Hey man, if you gonna put him on there, go ahead and put my man Baby Jordan on there. Y'all remember him?
Harry Minor.
If you gonna do that,
put big Baby on there from
man. So y'all put Rondo.
Yeah, was he on there?
If he on there, you should have put Udonis on there.
Rondo's had an impact.
Hold on now. Rondo's had a lot better career than Udonis.
Right.
Yeah. He has, but Rondo don't belong to no top 75 though. All time.
They'll keep stretching it out. He'll get on there.
If we're talking about top 75 IQs, he got
He got a couple chips.
Man, y'all keep saying.
How many you think Udonis Haslam got?
Man, y'all got to stop.
3.
He got 2 with the Heat.
No, he's got 3. He was on that team
3.
with Shaq and
D-Wade.
Oh, you right. He was with the first. Hey, that's when D-Wade was killing. You right? Yeah. Nah.
So let me ask you this, Kris. Overall, you satisfied with that list?
I mean, I think so, man. Because like when you look at it, because I've heard some of those voters on podcasts. Because when I'm not breaking down film, I'm listening to a podcast, and they so many of them were trying to like give their just due to those people in terms of their impact, within that era. And when you start to look at, hey, who do we put on, and and who to take off, I think if you get to the point to where when we talk about how much more skilled kids are now, right, than they were 20 years ago.
Right.
And it's like, so then it's almost like you discredit everything that happened in the NBA if you just take off all those people from back in the day.
Right.
That you may say, hey, they couldn't play in today's game. I mean, yeah, some of them probably couldn't. But then you also say, had they been around and developed in this system, would they not have been just as good now? When we went from when the NBA started, people were like shooting running jump shots like off one leg, runners everywhere, like you see any of those old things. And it's like, well, if
coming back.
Yeah, like if that player, like if, granted Bill Russell's on there, but like if Bill Russell or Wilt Chamberlain were playing today with their physical abilities and you added today's skill, like how amazing would they be today? And I think that's kind of how you got to evaluate some of those people back in the day.
Right. So I'm going to go to old Kawasi's list, and he put up 5 that wasn't there. So Dwight Howard, we discussed, Vince Carter, Paul Gasol, Chris Webber, and Alonzo Mourning. He thinks those folks should be on the list.
Chris Webber.
Well, that's the one draft pick.
Yeah, I mean, Webber, and I think what everybody forgets about his career when he hurt his knee there was that with the Sixers. He was so freaking good with those Kings teams.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And they got screwed over by the NBA when they played the Lakers in terms of the amount of foul calls.
Who hit that shot?
Robert Horry.
Oh,
but it is insane Vince Carter's not on there. Just the longevity of his career.
That's your man career in a nutshell.
Hey,
no, that is not.
The same amount of points that he averaged is the same amount of rings he got.
Amount of rings.
Let me tell you something. You can take what he averaged and take Grant Hill career. That man played 10 more years. Grant Hill still averaged more points than he did.
He played his role.
Exactly. That's the effect. He wasn't on those teams with Older Starp and the King and all those jokers that average 15 to 20.
It ain't about that. It ain't about what you.
What about Ginobili?
Manu.
Was he not?
Was
he not on there?
I don't think so. No, he's not on here.
Nah, I'll give you Ginobili now. I'll give you Ginobili. I'll give you that one, KP.
I just thought about him.
Is Tony Park on there?
Nope.
But who do you take off?
All he did was win.
Yeah.
Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce should be on there. He on there.
Man.
Paul Pierce ain't on there?
Paul Pierce is on there.
See, he don't need to be on there.
To me, he's questionable.
Man, what are y'all talking about, man? Paul Pierce.
Yes.
Yeah. Paul Pierce, who got stabbed in the club.
Come on, man. But y'all want to put in Robert Horry over Paul Pierce.
We didn't say over him. We just asked him the question.
Well, if you put who you gonna put Robert? Please take something. Tell me who you take off and put Robert Horry on.
Robert Horry need to be.
And who gonna replace Paul Pierce? Please tell me.
Robert Horry need to be 76 then.
Robert Horry needs to stay where he at. 7 points, 4 rebounds. That's where he needs to stay at.
He was very efficient.
Yeah,
there
he
you
was.
go. The 3 shots he took a game was the most important shots of the game.
I take it back. I'm looking at his 3-point percentage. Maybe he wasn't. But he hit them when they counted. That's what's the most important.
Yeah, it's the impact of the game.
I'm with you.
So we saying Westbrook is on there because of his triple doubles, correct?
So Westbrook is on there?
Yeah, Westbrook is on
there. Oh, okay.
Westbrook is on there.
Yeah. Come on, man. Y'all.
All good, man.
Man, y'all can have y'all list. You know, as long as my boy on there, we all good.
Who?
Melo.
Mister, I ain't gonna sit the bench. He did.
Yeah,
I
they asked him in an interview, do I come off the bench? He goes, who?
Yeah.
Right.
That's neither here nor there. We moved on. We've grown from it.
I don't know about that list, man.
I give you Ginobili though. I give you that one.
Giannis is on the list.
I'm new A guy. I don't think they need to be on the list.
Giannis?
Hey.
I think that's debatable.
Who do you replace him with? That's always a question.
I don't know.
Well, if you got nobody to replace with, then they're debatable.
Robert Horry.
We talking about it. Let's talk about it.
So the only two former MVPs that didn't make the list were Jokic and Rose. So every other MVP in NBA history is on the list with those two.
Rose.
I think D Rose should be on there. Well, that's an injury thing too, though, right?
Yeah, but he's still playing though.
Yeah.
That may change down the road. He got. Well, I don't know. I'm a D Rose fan too, man. My Chicago brother.
I forgot. Yeah, anybody from Chris? Here's the thing about Charles. Don't say anything about anybody from Chicago because he. Yeah.
Man,
O Block comes out.
You see logged off.
Man. Replace who with Tracy McGrady? Giannis?
Paul Pierce?
Man.
Stop. Charles Tracy was a bad boy, man.
Yeah, he was, man.
I'm not denying his talent. It's still body of work.
I'm still
what's Giannis' body of work?
He just won last year.
No, he was saying Paul Pierce.
No, I said Giannis.
Do Tracy McGrady got a championship?
There you go again.
Hold on.
Wait. You can't pick and choose when you want to use championship.
He ain't lying. Robert Horry got 7.
He does, but do Robert Horry got the numbers that Giannis have?
Giannis ain't finished.
That's right now.
You can't say right now. You can't say right now because Robert Horry.
I'll tell you this. Giannis is on the verge of blowing Robert Horry's stats out the water. So we done with that.
Robert Horry averaged 20 in today's game.
20 turnovers?
I don't know if he'd average 20. I mean, I think he should be in the Hall of Fame, but I don't know if he'd average 20. He never averaged more than 11 in his own era.
20 turnovers? Man, come on, man.
I got to give the big shot balls some respect, man.
You can't replace it.
Okay. Here's one. I'm just gonna throw a name out here, just to see how y'all feel about it. Kawhi.
He on the list, right?
He's on the list. Do you think that's a solid selection?
That's a very solid selection.
I say yeah, because he was. I say he was solid at San Antonio. I mean, he ain't bad now, but his body work.
Didn't he win Defensive Player of the Year twice? Didn't he win that back to back?
Yeah. Then Robert Horry got 7 championships.
I mean, I'm just wondering. Say Robert Horry one more again.
If we going off these antics,
I'm sorry.
Say a little clock.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know, man.
No.
I mean, it's always debatable. That's a good thing about it, man.
It is. Yeah. I mean, I think the Robert Horry is going people like that is going to hold near and dear to people's hearts of what he did for the teams he played for. If he was repping your team, he didn't do nothing for me, but I love seeing big shots, big games.
Oh yeah.
Big Shot Rob, but you don't like Big Shot Rob though.
Sure don't.
Rob who? Big Shot Rob. Who's that?
Robert Horry, man. Never mind.
Hey, Kris, man, we're gonna get you off the show, brother. We appreciate you coming on, man. Before we get out of here, though, you got anything you want to plug? The database again, and let people know how to get in touch with you.
Yeah, for sure. They can follow me on Twitter at Dr. Kris Watkins or Southern Hoops. That's SHReport or JUCO Report, JUCOREPORT. I got Instagram too for Southern Hoops Report and JUCO Report. They're all the same names. I have a normal Instagram, Dr. Kris Watkins, but I only post pictures of my daughters and my wife on there to keep them happy. But definitely, want players to take advantage of the database with it being free. And then don't ever hesitate to, reach out to me on Twitter, on DM. You're never bothering me if you message me more than once. I generally get back to everybody within a day or two. But yeah, I just want to do whatever I can to really kind of help, use the platform I have to help players get to the next level, and definitely kind of support, they support what we do with our camps and, our events, and look forward to seeing everybody out during this high school season.
Yes, sir. Hey, man, we appreciate you coming on the show. We appreciate you for what you do for the culture, man. So, we follow you, we rock with you. So we appreciate you again, man.
Awesome. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, man. Have a great night.
All right, y'all have a good night.
So Tracy McGrady. So everybody keeps saying Tracy McGrady.
Man, Robert Horry, man. Tell you.
No. So Tracy McGrady, 2 NBA scoring titles, 2003, 2004, and 1 NBA Most Improved in 2001. All NBA honors, 7 All-Star selections. And y'all said replace him with
7 points.
Paul Pierce.
7.4 rebounds.
Paul Pierce.
Career. 7 championships.
Paul Pierce, NBA champion, NBA Finals MVP, 3-time All NBA third team, 2002, 2003, 2008, 6-time NBA All-Star 2002 through 2006 and 2008, NBA All Rookie first team, NBA regular season leader, total points 2002. No, McGrady don't go over.
Here's my thing: the
and he don't
the
like
All-Star
LeBron.
game is a popularity contest, ain't it?
Yeah, man.
What is
The All-Star game?
All-Star game, because you vote by 6 times, Charles.
Yeah, Tracy McGrady got 7 of them. He was more popular than Paul Pierce.
That's a good point.
All
right, man. We ain't talking about that no more, man. Hey, it was good having Dr. Kris Watkins on the show, man.
Yep, tons of information.
Tons of information. Hopefully, everybody was paying attention.
Parents, if you out there, get out there on
man.
Twitter, man.
That's Southside. I'm not from Southside, man. I'm from the good old Shoulder State.
Yo, he act like he's from O Block.
Man, I'm talking about you right, Kyle. He started set tripping for real, boy.
Man,
straight
man,
over. That's your
man,
just
y'all
law,
Hey, that's King Charles.
Charles.
That was stop.
King Charles or Lil G? Which one you want?
Yeah, which one you want?
Nah, one up.
Nah, that dude, that go crazy, boy.
Nah,
Yeah, this cat logged off.
Yeah, I'm talking about this Lord. I just left.
Man, y'all was being disrespectful to my Robert Hood.
Who?
We were just talking about people like you was. You just
right. It was a conversation. See what I'm saying?
Man, nah, that wasn't no conversation, man.
It was
disrespectful.
We can't disagree with that joke, but it joke is crazy, boy. Whole OG. Say something about him.
Yeah, we realize G stands for Gillespie too.
Yes, sir.
Nah, that ain't that name. That man name. I don't know what his name is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Polo.
That's all right, Charles. We don't want no smoke.
Man, hey, we got trials tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Fighting time, man.
So ready to.
Hold on, Taylor. Let's get this off your chest. I know your 7th grade boys football team.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Don't talk about it.
Yeah,
don't talk about
it. Give them young men they do, man.
Oh yeah. Man, the seventh grade Warriors, baby demons, baby Big Red took care of business. What Thursday?
From Nellyville, yeah.
Thursday night, man. Won the county championship, man. So
put
shout out to shout out to Coach Rashard Styles, Coach Harbin, and the gang, man. Did a good job. Fagan Mill beat us 24-0 the first game when we played them early in the season. And to get that revenge and in the championship game, man, was pretty sweet for them.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, it was a good game, man. Good game.
Yeah, who ended up Perry ended up winning that 8th grade game, didn't
he? Yeah, they ended up winning. Perry beat Fagan Mill 11-12. Real good game. Close
11-12. Yeah,
11-12.
11-12. The game started a little late because Coach Tatt wouldn't get off the game for the 7th grade game because he was celebrating.
What? How would I get off the field?
He delayed the game so he wouldn't get off the sideline. They like, could the previous teams leave so we could start this game?
Man, they were down there
celebrating, taking selfies.
Hey, Dr. Love, in the words of Coach Gorman, another one on outside of town.
But no, man, it's a lot of talent. A lot of talent in the groups. A lot of talent about to come through in football. A lot of talent about to come through. It was, woof.
Hey, man.
Yeah. A lot of talent about to come through.
The rich keep getting richer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So excited. So to talk about this upcoming basketball season, man. What's some thoughts as you put that team together?
Man, just go through the trial stuff tomorrow, man. I mean, this week, first 3 days or whatever. See what Coach Garman cooks up for us to work with.
When y'all first scrimmage? Y'all got a scrimmage?
Yeah, I think we go to Macon County on the 11th, I want to say. Nah, it's either the 9th. It might be the 9th.
I think it's the 9th. November 9th, I think we got to go down to Macon County.
Okay.
So, as soon as trials is done, we got to jump right into it. So, man, we're gonna be all right, I guess, man. Just coach what we got. That's our motto every year. Whatever we got, that's what we coach.
There you
go.
Man,
let's bring some energy to the stage, man. We're gonna bring some energy to the stage.
I need it.
Yeah, here we go right here.
It's
Juke.
What happened?
Juke, what up?
We got to go down and make the county.
Juke, I think you got
trials is done. We got to.
There you go.
So man,
okay, we're good.
We're gonna be all right, I guess. And just coach what we got.
Somebody's still on.
That's our motto every year.
Wow.
Juke, Coach Buddy. He's over the Coach Buddy, huh?
Yeah, we'll try it again. Let's see if we can get it right.
Yeah, man.
Speaking of Coach Buddy, shout out to Coach Buddy.
Shout out to Coach Buddy. So,
Juke, I think you got
trials are done. We got
somebody still in playback. Yeah, I think that's you, Juke.
You got that thing turned up over there.
Oh, you just got the.
You watching the show?
Juke, you watching the show?
Yeah, you got to turn the YouTube off.
Yeah, but Juke got an amp on his phone. that thing.
But like I was saying, man, shout out to Coach Buddy, man, and Coach Cornelius over there. They about to get the Hoko regime going over there under them. So shout out to them.
Coach Harnett. Coach Harnett. Yeah, Coach Harnett finna get that thing jumping up there Southwest.
Oh yeah. First time coaches, man, at these new schools. So celebrating them and wishing them nothing but success, man.
Coach Brett Hardy. Get that thing rolling out there, veterans.
I seen veterans schedule. Veterans got a nice schedule.
Yeah, they do.
Veterans got a nice schedule.
Yeah.
Nice.
Who else? Who else?
Yeah. Shout out to Coach White over there with y'all, Tat.
Yeah, ranked number 9 in the state. Cal Sandy girls ranking came out today, man. Yeah. I mean, it was a lot of Middle Georgia teams on there, man.
Baldwin
and who else?
Baldwin got a good girl guard. A good guard on the girl side.
Yeah.
Dublin.
Lamar County.
Lamar County got a good girl too. They got a good guard.
Mm-hmm. It's the Blessed Game kid, I want to say.
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. So that list came out today. Shout out to her. Happy birthday, belated birthday, Rashawn Tomlin too, man. Had a birthday yesterday.
Man. Don't nobody want to tell Quinn happy birthday. Rashawn be talking about me, man. I ain't. Happy birthday, Rashawn. Happy birthday, bro.
So, Duke, you getting ready for basketball season, man?
Yeah, kind of. I'm excited, you know what I'm saying, but I ain't that excited. Like 80% of my roster still playing football.
Oh,
yeah, and there's 2 more games left.
So when y'all potentially gonna get them back?
It just depends on what they do the next 2 games.
Yeah.
And then, like, for me, like, I don't even my highest score only averaged like 6 points. So, like, we lost 3 of our main players last year. So I don't really know what I'm gonna have this year. It's more so work and putting the pieces together.
Well, it's not like you gonna have a Robert Horry.
I ain't gonna have no. I hope I do have a Robert Horry.
There you go.
I'll take that. They give me at least a chance to win in the late game. So I mean, for me though, it's gonna be fun. I think our region we have like 3 all-state players. I think we playing at least between 5 to 7 all-state players throughout our whole schedule. So I mean, it's gonna be fun, man. It's an opportunity to show off a couple of guys we got. Got a freshman that I like. Just gotta really see how he takes the game. But it's just about putting the pieces together and working. For me, I always tell people when they ask me about the team, holler at me around January. I can tell you more because you can learn a lot about your team come January. But for me, it's mostly about where you finish it. So.
Right.
Like, I feel like we're going to have a physical team because most of them play football, which is good. And you just got to do skill set, take the skill sets and everything that's going on and make your team better.
Hey, I'm looking at Bruce message.
Oh, man. Yeah.
So look, we was at the game. Of course, the conversation comes up, and everybody, I'm like, man, come on, man, get off that. It ain't gonna be that. Hey, Juke, y'all got a full schedule yet?
He got all that quick.
He gonna skip over.
Yeah. He got all that. He got all that quick.
Man, I don't even know because I know the girl side probably do, but I don't think we got. We probably got to get like 2 or 3 more games. I think no.
Hey, man, we can get you a game, man, and the Bear Brawl. They're looking for a team to come in and play one day, one game.
The Bear Brawl.
Yeah, over at House and County.
I don't know. I have to check it out with Coach.
Yeah,
I can check that out. What day? What day is it?
I'll get it for you.
Yeah, let me know. You know, we'll try to figure it out.
What Tap? When y'all Screaming Demon?
The 18th. Start the 18th. I want to say.
So I think it's like the 18th and 19th. So it might be on the 19th.
It'll be the 17th, 18th.
Or 17th, 18th of December.
All right, I'll check. We might play though. I gotta look at the schedule too.
All right. Well,
I'll let you know though. I'll definitely let you know. But we should be all right, man. Everybody should be happy about tomorrow. It's just there's a whole nother opportunity to know you about to get locked in to get some film, get ready to show the college coaches. Like, take advantage of what's about to go on, but still got to keep that body language the right way. Still got to keep the right attitude. You know, when kids start playing at home, some of them start acting like they ain't got no sense. Act like you got some sense. Act like you done played ball before, but enjoy it. That's how I'm coming. Act like you've been here before.
Yeah. Well, like I was gonna say, if it's one thing, man, you definitely gonna coach them up. You and the staff, man. So we know that. So we ain't worried about that. You're gonna get them to be out there competing.
Oh yeah, that's it, man. And one thing about me is like, I want to see you go hard. Like, if we lose, but I see that you put in all the effort that you could put in, that's all I can ask for. We'll fix that. But you can't coach a kid that don't play the game the right way, that don't do what they're supposed to do. They lollygag a lot. Like, just bring the energy and come out ready to play. Some kids beat you just off of energy. Like, and it's crazy because of the effort that you put in. Your effort gonna get you to where you want to be. You might not hit a lot of shots, but your effort alone can change a game anytime.
Oh yeah.
There you go. There you go. Effort alone, hitting them big shots in crucial times. I'm like big shot Bob to me.
Hey, I do want to say this though. I've been seeing a lot of tweets about a lot of the kids that I've been talking about lately. And I just want to say.
Oh yeah, Dr. Love.
You ain't gotta give me no flowers. I'm gonna give my own self some flowers. Straight up. I'm telling you. I gotta be as humble as I can be, but I really want to say, man, that I'm seeing it puts a smile on my face to see people really talk about kids like Jamil Rideout, JC Curry, even the freshmen that came from Valdosta, Jabbar. Like it's a blessing to see that. And then seeing kids like Rashawn get another offer, that's a blessing too, because just knowing that we talk about those kids a lot, man, and seeing it coming to friction is everything. So shout out to Rashawn for getting that, man, because that kid worked damn hard to get those opportunities that coming to him. He deserves more, but I want people to understand is, like, man, run your own race. It's not about what somebody else is getting, because it might just be you don't fit that style of play, or it might be that they like this kid attitude better than yours. It doesn't mean anything else, but run your own race. Don't worry about what nobody else doing. Like, just continue to work.
No, definitely.
That's it. But I mean, other than that, man, like, again, just being able to see the success of these kids it is a blessing, man. And Cam Perkins next up, like, I talk about Cam a lot. Really like the Aaron Jones kid out of Middle Georgia. Man,
I'm looking for Aaron to have a big year, man. Kind of a breakout year.
Him and Nick Woodard, bro. I look at him and Nick Woodard to have a really Rashawn too. This is gonna be, long as Rashawn continue to show he can shoot the leather off the ball, his opportunities is gonna get higher than what it is. Cause Tat and G gonna bring that dog out on. So it's just about him being consistent, hitting the shots consistently as he should, bro.
Hey, so Rashawn, man, I went back to, we was in the lab, man, and I was like, go ahead and, hold your follow through. And then things started changing, man. So I just want to throw that out there.
You had the input in that. Right?
Hey, Juke, that's what everybody do on Twitter, ain't it?
We don't even want to get on Twitter, man.
Put that cup up, Charles.
We ain't even gonna get on Twitter.
Cup up, Charles. Yo, shout out to my man Kyle Sandy, man.
Yeah, man. We ain't gonna get on top by Twitter. It's a lot of people that like to use the Twitter fingers to talk about nonsense, man.
Real reckless.
Yeah, man. That's hey, I ain't really the type that talk about negativity, bro. But some people gotta understand, man. They be talking to the wind sometimes, bro. It don't make no sense, like,
for no reason.
And it's a lot of hating these people buzz out here, man.
Yeah.
No need of being. You can't be a grown man out here acting like a kid, bro. Talking the way you talk. I don't go for that. But I have to be respectful. Man. Like, the game, like, I'm respectful because of the fact that, that's how I was raised. You know what I'm saying? But Man, I ain't finna keep letting nobody just continue. That don't make no sense, man. Cause we all in this game for one reason, man, and that's to help kids.
Well, but Juke, I think people forget that, man. I think people forget that, and I think people forget eventually we all gonna be in the same gym somewhere.
Oh, I know I'm gonna be in the same gym with them. I don't need to say nothing to me, period.
Nothing. I think it's this too, man. That's why a lot of people start to tweet things or say things on social media that's out of context because they start to lose or feel like they losing relevancy in the culture. Just because somebody's hot right now or they got something going on, don't mean you gotta do whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's room for everybody. You know what I mean?
Well, my thing is, if you're a professional or so-called professional,
right?
Then certain things you should and shouldn't be doing in the first place.
Yeah,
agreed.
If you're if you're gonna carry yourself and talk about yourself as a professional,
right?
Then there's certain things that you should and shouldn't be doing. That goes for anybody. But you can't do certain things and then not expect backlash from it or play victim when you called out on it. You can't do that.
And that's real, bro. Cause the one thing that I don't like, bro, I don't like seeing people try to compare stuff. Like everybody doing the same thing.
Everybody doing the same thing. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if I do a write-up, I'm doing a write-up for a kid. It ain't to get, I'm doing a write-up to help the kids so the coaches can see it. It ain't to go against anybody else that do write-ups, because some of the people that do write-ups, I ask questions because they might have seen the kid more than I have. Like, what you think about this, or what you think about this kid? You know what I'm saying? Like, I ask questions. So, but I'm gonna talk my junk because I feel like if I tell you about a kid, like, man, hey, I'm not just gonna tweet about a kid just for clout, because I don't even tweet about a lot of kids that are big time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now, Wasted was different. I rock with Wasted. And you know what I'm saying? I got to show love to where love gets showed back. Or I'm gonna always show love to a kid that I like and I appreciate. But like, man, some of these guys, they get on here with their Twitter stuff, man. They start talking crazy, and I really be looking at that stuff like, bro, we grown. Like, ain't nobody.
Right. That I was gonna say, and these are grown ass men. Like, what we talking about?
Well,
you really feeling away. Like, this somebody really got you feeling away that you got to go on Twitter and just that's where you want to say it at. But you don't seen these people 1,000 times in person.
And you got to make sure your tweets make sense. Like, you can't keep tweeting stuff and then it don't be making no sense. Like, what it is? What are you tweeting? What it is?
Well, I'm gonna say this, and I told Ken and Charles this last week about the same type deal. If you entertain the clown, then you're part of the circus.
Woman don't play that.
You know what I'm saying? Nah, it's
everybody want to be an expert, man. Everybody not. How Charles Barkley said, only God's an expert, but everybody want to be an expert. Everybody want to be the person that knows everything about everything. Come on, man, get out of here with that.
Hey, what's crazy to me is that it's people that are from where I'm from or from like neighboring counties, and they still don't show love to the people of where they came from.
Yeah, it's like that here. It's like that here. It's like that here in this town right now.
And it's crazy. But you know, for me, it's being on that platform of you can change the landscape with your voice, but instead you choose to pit people against each other in a sense. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So you know, like from people that come from where I come from, like in the country out here in Greensboro or whatever, like we gotta support each other. We don't have anything. So when I see somebody from where I'm from talk the way they talk, then yeah, I'm gonna feel some type of way because you got a voice, and your voice is just as powerful as anything. So when people see you say, "Oh," just say for instance, Juke not doing better than such and such, then like, why would you do that? Like, I'm helping kids the same way such and such helping kids.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why would we continue to pit stuff against each other and compare us helping kids? We're all doing the same thing. We're all helping kids in different areas. I'm not judging nobody from Savannah that's helping kids. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, that's it. It's crazy.
Well, since you brought it up, Charlie Wagner.
Oh, man. I guess I'll go put it up.
Yeah, well, I mean, since he brought it up, I mean, the thing, like I said, and I said it, and I say it again. If you are, I mean, if you say you're a professional, then there's certain things that you don't. I mean, you don't do.
Right.
I mean, you can't down another man for what he's doing. I guess because
and it's okay if you don't agree.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. It's okay that you don't agree.
Yeah, it's okay. You won't do that though.
Don't down the man because he's doing something that I guess that other people are not coming to you for.
Right.
I ain't touching that one. I'm leaving that alone.
Well, no.
Not what you saying. Not what you saying. I'm talking about what Charger put up there. I ain't touching that. I can't touch that one right now.
Yeah, that's between them. That's between those two. But I spoke to Kyle myself, and he ain't worried about it. Hell, I ain't worried about it either. But I was just talking within the conversation of what you were talking about. But I don't know. I just ain't a big fan of another man trying to put another person down.
That was lame. I'm gonna say that. That was lame. You trying to look for an easy target, bro. That was lame.
I ain't a fan of that. And
that was lame. That cat already talks reckless just about Middle Georgia, period. So
yeah, he does.
People know who to put up and who not, and people know who to respond to. Like that's just simple as that. You know,
you tried to find an easy target, man. That was lame.
I'm gonna tell you this, and I ain't taking up for Kyle and nothing like that because Kyle grown, he take it for himself. But I respect what he does,
right?
Because I see what he does. I mean, I see him actually in the gym.
He all over the state.
All over the state. I see him sitting there with a phone in his hand, recording, writing down stats, and doing all of that at the same time.
And he talk about,
you know what I'm saying?
He talk about kids outside the city.
Right, yeah. and I see him now. I see him not walking over to the table checking stat sheets because he's taking his own. You know, these things that I've seen. So I can't speak about what he does and what he don't do and what he don't know and this and no, because I don't know him like that. I mean, I saw him and talked to him on occasions, but I mean, I don't know. I can't sit here and say, you know, this man don't do this, that, and the other. But I mean,
here's my thing with that, right? And again, I ain't gonna jump into it, but your man talks reckless about Middle Georgia. I personally heard him on a broadcast of a game talking reckless about Middle Georgia. That's come on. And then you do that. That's lame, bro. That's lame.
I'll say this, man. It's just, you know, I don't know. I've had conversations with Kyle Sandy. I know Kyle Sandy. I don't know Hillsman like that, so I can only go off of what I see from the surface of what you say and the things that you post. That's the only thing I got to go off of. And like Tad said, it's a way to be a professional in this thing when you out there. It's all how you carry yourself with people who prejudge you really, really fast. And he might not care. He's 60-something years old. He might not give a damn. I don't know.
Well, he's 60 years old. I don't know, but I can tell you one thing. I can tell you this. And it's me. Oh. Yeah, it's me now. Now you get on there talking crazy about me now. I'm when I see you, I'm gonna say something to you now. And that's just me. I mean, that's just me. I'm gonna pull you to the side. Hey, brother, come in. Let me see. I ain't taking the high road like Kyle. But we don't know.
Lame, bro.
I've been taking the high road the last couple months. And so I think I hope I can continue to do that. But I don't need nobody talking reckless, bro. I don't like the disrespect is not gonna be tolerated, period. I ain't gonna nope. There's no need for it. Be talked about at all. Like, but I can honestly say, bro, like the only thing that I want all us to I know everybody ain't gonna stick together. I get that. But I ain't trying to pick such and such against such and such. I ain't trying to compare camps. I ain't trying to do none of that because everybody's doing the same thing. We're trying to make kids get opportunities. So regardless if I go to a camp on the radar, hoop scene, I go to Jared's camps, or I go to a camp in Athens at Icon Hoops. Like I'm trying to go to help kids. I've never went to a camp since I've been doing this where I felt like nobody wasn't trying to help the kids. Speaking of Kris Watkins too. Never been to none of that. Never compared a camp to this camp to this camp because they're all doing the same thing, helping kids get opportunities. So I would never pit that against each other. Like one thing a person should say, we should be thankful for all the opportunities that we're giving kids in the state of Georgia. I appreciate each and every last one of y'all that has had any impact on making Georgia high school basketball as great as it is throughout the years. That's it.
Cal, and Doc, we tried that. We tried that. But I can tell you this. And I think I can speak for everybody that's on the screen right here. We're going to look out for all kids. It ain't going to be we just looking out for Middle Georgia kids, because when we have camps here in Middle Georgia, we've had kids from Metro Atlanta, South Georgia, West Georgia, Augusta. We had kids from everywhere. Savannah. And we don't mind.
We had kids from out of state too.
Yeah, kids from out of state.
Florida. We gonna do our part. Can't speak for everybody else. We can't make everybody else think the way we think and do the things that we do. So I mean, whatever that we tried the one Georgia thing. It ain't gonna happen.
So let's say this, man. Let me say this. So we have relationships with some individuals that are about supporting kids, like Duke, like Medlock, like Willie, like Kyle Sandy, like Jared Christian, Jared Pro, those guys, Kris Watkins, Ty Young. So in the list, if I forget about it, please forgive me. But Prep Hoops. That list goes on and on and on. So it is. There are some good people out there. It is about that one Georgia, but it ain't everybody. So there's still a stigma out there about that the only hoopers come out of one place. It is, and you probably never get rid of it. But that's fine. We gonna do what we do.
You just gotta connect with the right people, man.
That's it.
On another note, though, Charles. On a positive note, like before we get off of the show, shout out to Brianna Patton, man. Speaking of hoop scenes, she had that hoop scene had their first women's high school camp today. So shout out to what hoop scene trying to do. Shout out to everybody that's trying to do something for the women's side of high school basketball. But again, man, shout out to BP for the work that she put in for that camp, man. Super proud of you for what you done. I really had to put that out there, man, because that side of basketball don't get pushed out as much as it should. And Brianna's trying to set the standard of having that kind of content for the women's side, man. So again, shout out to Brianna and Hoop Scene on everything they're trying to do on the women's side, and anybody that's putting in some work on the women's side.
So I think it's something we the ways you've been saying, you probably seen it before, man. If you're doing this, man, make sure you're doing it with a pure heart, and you can't go wrong with that. Right. You're doing it with a pure heart, it's going to work itself out. So,
and the foot stomp with Juke, and I think everybody is saying, man, we're here for the kids, bro. Don't try to sabotage kids based on where they're from. Look at their ability. Look what they putting on the floor and go.
Man, I can't. Me personally, I can't worry about what's going on up there in the first place. And you got too many distractions here in the own city. Somebody be worried about. Somebody be worried about what's going on up there.
Bro, I got a wife and 3 kids. I ain't talking about that. But that's what I'm telling you. A lot of times I ain't worried about what nobody else saying. I'm busy. Can't less. As long as you don't direct it this way, then we ain't gonna have no problem.
Yeah, I'm with all that too. Yeah. I got kids. I got kids. All right. Hey, they've probably been one of the busiest times of my life, man. No lie. With just this everything that coming on, like I just appreciate having a strong bond with you guys, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like certain things keep you going, certain people keep you guided, man. Tat, I probably call Tat every 3 days, bro. If I got something going on or I probably call that man every other day, bro. Like for real. So like just having that bond with good people, bro, and being around great people, like it's a blessing. So I'm blessed.
Man, speaking of, man, I got these children. I had these children today because Chris and gone on a conference for work. Right, it is. But speaking of children, man, I got these children, man.
Oh, you gotta get them up in the morning too.
Yeah, man, the children ran me crazy already.
All right, well, they sleep now.
Ain't no telling.
I wonder why you ain't got knocked out yet.
AJ probably be up there hanging from the ceiling fan or something.
Right.
hey, I told that. I see he got choked out. That's why he ain't got choked out today. No wonder me Brooks ain't at the house.
Not today, boy.
That boy enjoying it. They enjoying it a little bit.
Dr. Love, we gonna try to keep up the good work, man, and keep fighting. Keep fighting the good fight. Like
Dr. Love.
I have never met JB, Kyle, Charlie Wagner, or Dr. Love. We
appreciate the support, man. We appreciate the support, though.
Hey, for real, because Dr. Love be knowing everything, but you never know who he is. What that thing was on Inspector Gadget, always called in what was going on, but you never saw it fade.
Hey, Juke, it's crazy you said Inspector Gadget because I was just thinking about somebody in the trench coat.
Yeah, that's it, bro. Oh, look, me Brooke keep a tab. Put that up there. Hey, man, Brooke. Hey. Besides Charles telling us it's time to go, man, Brooke telling us it's Tat curfew.
Tat need to wrap it up. We gotta get them kids right.
Curfew. You just heard him say AJ might be swinging from the ceiling fan.
Oh no, we appreciate you, Kristen.
I can tell you that my baby got him situated up there. My baby finna be 11 years old in a couple days. So she got a mama shirt on, so she take care of business.
Hey, Lord, I ain't gonna lie to you.
That love, why you bringing up old stuff, man?
I thought Tat was that guy. I thought Tat was the one that wore the pants. I don't know about that. He might wear the short, but he don't wear the pants, bro.
Tat, don't fall for it. Don't fall for it, Tat. We trying to get you in trouble, bro. Don't fall.
Man,
I would never.
We should have asked KP who the CEO was.
Who?
Exactly, the CEO.
Oh, the CEO is TAT.
That's right.
So I told so this is me. I ain't the CEO. I'm the CFO. My wife is CEO.
Nah, my wife is the team president. I'm the CEO.
I'm the CFO. I'm the chief financial officer.
She's the president of Team Plumber, and she can take care of day-to-day activities, but all the big decisions got to come through the big dog.
All right, all y'all talking about.
Come on, Juke. Juke in there with us, Juke.
Oh, I ain't getting in there. I'm straight.
Yeah,
hey, we can find us like a 4-bedroom apartment.
Oh, y'all don't need but 3.
I ain't
y'all don't need but 3.
Hey, Juke. Hey, Juke, you know all I watch is Virgos too, man.
For real.
Yeah. Like birthday days apart. Ain't that crazy?
Oh, yeah. That's why y'all so close. That's why y'all like this. All right, that's why y'all like this.
Oh, hey, I can't miss shouting out my boy Jacoby Owen, man. First team. All conference preseason.
Shout out to Kobe, man. Kobe look like King Von a little bit, man.
But don't tell him that, boy. If he looking at this right now, he heard that. He's smiling from ear to ear.
That boy do look like Von a little bit, man. R.I.P. King Von, man.
You can't tell that joke that, bro. Boy, that joke smiling from ear. If he heard that joke smiling from ear to ear. But I can tell you this.
Juke, you know Charles from O-Block.
Man, Charles. Nah, but I'm gonna tell you this though, Juke. That joker's worked his tail off, man, to get where he at.
Oh yeah. Shout out Lil Kyrie.
Yeah, he's hey, I'm gonna tell you a quick story before we get off here. Joker couldn't dribble with his left hand at all when he was 6th grade. Joker couldn't go left save his life, but that Joker worked his tail off. Jump shot was terrible. I mean, terrible. He shoot the ball, he might hit the top of the glass. But he's always been able to, get to the basket and see the floor well. Mm-hmm. But once he worked on that that ball handling, man, and that jump shot, everything else came natural, man. So I'm proud of that Joker. Yeah, man, I'm proud of that Joker, boy. Y'all from South Dakota?
Nah, love. I promise you, nah.
You from the Lou?
I almost said something.
Nellyville.
Almost kicked me off.
You from St. Louis?
Dr. Love, where you from?
Dr. Love probably from Zone 6.
Dr. Love don't give out no info,
East
bro.
Side.
None, bro.
He don't give out no stats.
Hey, Dr. Love from Zone 6, East Side up there.
Yeah, man, they from no Zone 6. He probably from South Dakota. Figure out what street I grew up on.
I'm telling you, Dr. Love from Zone 6.
Dr. Love might be the FBI. All the
information. He ain't the alphabet boy, is he?
Yeah, he might be one of the alphabet boy. He know too much, bro. He be knowing everything, man. It don't make no sense right there.
Man, I appreciate.
I
appreciate Dr. Love knowing what he knows.
I've been knowing the alphabet boys all my life.
You from Quantico?
Oh man, hey, I forgot. Yeah, it is.
Oh, there it is. JB, boy, you be watching for it. Hit the nail on the head.
Hey, we lucky we got past this time, so we better take it because we might not get another time like this.
Oh, you ain't lying.
You ain't lying. But on that note, I appreciate you, Young B. Just tell me if you're still down. I'll holler at you.
This Joker Hill, boy.
He gonna go stop this.
Hold on, he's from
Arkansas.
Oh yeah, I used to live down in a little town called Blytheville.
In Arkansas?
In Arkansas, yeah.
You said
about 6 months.
Not Lil probably Little Rock.
He might be, he from Little Rock.
Banging in Little Rock.
Hey, he gang for real. That's what I'm about to say.
Banging in Little Rock.
The Rock, baby.
Oh, you hate the Razorbacks. Hey, you sound like me, Dr. Love. I'm from Georgia. I'm from Georgia and hate the Falcons.
Yeah, Dr. Love.
They should have lost today.
Dude, love. He like the Falcons.
Gang.
Yeah.
Arkansas.
Kenny, you're gonna take us out. Charles again.
All right, we about to tap out.
Charles again wrestling.
I'm about to close this out. That's
what you want to talk about.
Hey, real quick before you do that, Juke, you seen that cat get mad and took himself off the screen?
Yeah.
Hey, Juke, let me tell you.
Where that man went? Whole screen went black.
Juke, let me tell you this. Let me tell you this, man. This dude always do that, man. You start getting in a debate with this joker. This joker get mad and just log off.
Log off.
That's why he stopped the argument. Just log off.
I do that when y'all be talking nonsense.
Hey, Juke, don't say nothing about Chicago, man.
No.
Don't say nothing about Chicago.
Don't say nothing about Polo G.
Why? You see how they be on me?
Everything going.
They be on my head, man.
Charles be like, "Oh, for real? Watch this." Oh, that cat get mad. Hey, but nevertheless, man, it's time to get out of here because Charles is getting that look in his eye. He might just end the show. So we want to shout out all our sponsors, man. KPB Designs, Hype South Media, Hype South Skills Lab, Happy Hydro, Totem Training, shots by Cubby Lee. Shout out to Cubby Lee, man. I know he did some photo shoots today. Tap about to turn up on.
No, my bad.
All right, and then that's a fine. Dude, remember that? And last but not least, Braids by Bryant, man. So we're gonna get out of here again. We appreciate everybody watching the show. Next week is Halloween. We will not have a show next week, but come back the following week. We're gonna be jumping into we don't have a show next week, Ted.
Oh, we don't.
Yeah, you're right.
Your CEO said. Remember, your CEO was like, that probably wasn't a good idea.
All right. Okay.
I think you're gonna be taking the kids trick or treating.
I ain't taking that. I ain't doing. I can tell you that now. I can tell you that now. I ain't going trick or treating nowhere.
Hey, Juke, you heard him, right?
You
gonna post a picture with them.
Man, y'all make sure y'all get over there to the Brooks house. They passing out Chick-fil-A sandwiches.
Yeah.
Trick or treat.
I'll be up
passing out. Have on a costume.
Chick-fil-A sandwiches.
Dude, love gonna be passing out Gil. Passing out little snacks.
They're gonna have that Megan Thee Stallion hot sauce.
Yeah.
From Popeyes.
Oh, she do got some new hot sauce.
Some hottie sauce. Anyway.
Hottie sauce. Now I'm gonna get out of that too. Hey. What you
I don't get the boy, y'all.
Hey, Juke got close to the screen.
Joe got real close in.
Yeah.
Juke said she hot. Juke got real close that she hot. Oh boy. Yeah, y'all boys quick give fast.
Hey, we go, man.
I'll see y'all.
All right, man. Yes, sir.